Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to Community Television's presentation of the inaugural game of the inaugural season of the Santa Cruz Spirit, an amateur adult football team here in Santa Cruz, competing in the United States Amateur Football Federation. I'm Joel Domhoff alongside the coach of Scotts Valley High School, Louie Walters, and we're getting ready for a great game here between the Santa Cruz Spirit and the Hollister squad. But before we do that, we're going to have a ceremonial coin toss being done by Reggie Stephens, an alumnus of Santa Cruz High School, Cabrillo College, Rutgers University. He's now a defensive back for the New York Giants. And Reggie's going to flip this opening coin here as he shakes hands with the coach of the Spirit, Jim Clark. Beautiful day for football here, Louie, here at the SLV campus, and the field looks to be in okay shape for football.
It's always beautiful up here. I had a lot of memories up here, being a former Cougar, former coach here for 15 years, and unbelievable football setting here.
As the captains for each team come out to the 50-yard line to decide who will receive here. A small but loud crowd here at SLV. The stands are not packed, but you can certainly hear them, and it's nice to see the locals getting some support.
Yeah, it's a good day for football. It's not too warm. Got that spring breeze. I think these players are excited about getting it out.
And really a good job by the promoters here to get Reggie Stephens. He's a great kid. As I said, Santa Cruz High alum, and back here in the off season, he's got a conference championship ring to show off for his efforts for the New York Giants last year, and spends a lot of time in the community. About a month ago, was at the Santa Cruz Boys and Girls Club, spending some time with the kids, and nice to see him out here for the opening of the Santa Cruz Spirit. And he told me he's heading for New York on Monday to get ready for training camp, which begins the first week of July. They have mini camps, and Reggie's coming off a broken foot, so but he says he'll be 100% healthy for the season. So we're about to decide who will receive the kick here. The crowd continues to file in. The Spirit will be in their purple uniforms with white numbers. Hollister in red and white, and it appears as if the Spirit have won the toss. They elected to receive. So we'll see what Coach Jim Clark has to come out on offense in his first game as coach of the Santa Cruz Spirit, Louie.
Well, you know, I think they're going to be a little nervous on both sides of the ball. They haven't really had a real game situation, and I think they're excited.
That national anthem was sung by Eric McCrease of Santa Cruz. And so we thank him, and of course we thank Reggie Stephens for doing the coin flip. And we're about ready for football. Coach Jim Clark huddles his team around him. We'll see what they can do with this first return.
They look all fired up. They're ready to go. I talked to Coach Clark last night, and he had told me that if they received the kickoff and they were going towards the scoreboard, he was going to open up with the halfback pass, which is a good play to start the game off.
Why
we'll
not?
See if he sticks with it.
Unless, of course, they run the kick back.
Unless they run the kickoff back.
All right, back to receive the kick for Santa Cruz is number 88. That's Danny Alejandrez, and number 2, Dave Adams. Kicking off for Hollister will be number 21, Anthony Sotelo. And we're about ready for action. First game of the first season, 2001 amateur adult football. And we're underway from San Lorenzo Valley High. Low squib kick, picked up by one of the up men. That's number 55, Maurice Lee. Taken down to 35-yard line, so good field position for the Spirit here, Louie. First and 10 at their own 35.
Well, we'll see what Coach Clark comes up with, you know. This would be a good time to do a halfback pass. everybody's a little excited.
As always with leagues and games like this, some intriguing stories for Santa Cruz. Their starting quarterback, Ricardo De La Paz, is actually a member of the city council in the city of Watsonville. And he's got behind him one of the running backs, Rich Bourgeon, who's never played a down of organized football. Split back set, De La Paz calls out the signals. It's a pitch, and just like Louie said, it's a halfback pass. Man comes back for it, not quite come up with. Number 88, Danny Alejandrez, couldn't chase it down. Well, you called it, Louie, and they did it, just couldn't get complete.
I don't know about getting complete. He wasn't open, and I think the DB didn't bite for it. Something like that, he probably should just took off running. But give Coach Clark credit. He threw up something wrinkled right off the get-go.
The man who made that pass was number 30, Anastasio Beltran, the fullback out of Fresno, California. And now we know why he's a fullback. That one was a bit of a duck, but Alejandrez almost came back to make the play. So here we go, 2nd and 10. They've actually called the yard of line of scrimmage at the 34. Man in motion is Henry Torres. De La Paz gives to the upback. That's number 30, Beltran. He stopped for virtually no gain. Hollister's fired up. Gained 1 yard on the play. It'll be 3rd and 9.
It looks like Coach Clark is opening with the spread offense, where basically he has just a single back and trying to create bubbles in the middle line of scrimmage, spread the defense out. He ran with the dive up the middle and looked like Hollister was ready for it.
Hollister, coached by Dave Clapham. Their nickname is the Barnstormers. And Hollister fans, we apologize if we don't get all the names right. Some of these names do not have numbers on them on their roster, so we'll do the best we can. 3rd and 9 now. 4 wide receivers for De La Paz. Single back is Bourgeon. Looks like a double pass. No, it's a screen to number 21. That's McLemore. David McLemore gets outside, gets a short gain of about 4 yards. Not enough for the first down. It'll be 4th and 5, so we'll see if Coach Clark decides to go for it, or will we see the first punt?
I think if Coach Clark was smart, he'd punt this ball and get his defense on the field and try and stop Hollister and get some field position and go back the other way.
And it looks like that's what he's going to do, Louie, is number 32, Jose Romero, 5'8", 230-pounder out of Watsonville High School, is going to do the punting here for the Spirit. Hollister with 2 men back. It's number 5. Number 4, Reginald Sibley. And I don't have a number 5 on my roster, so I apologize. Here's the punt. It's they're going to let it bounce. Penalty flag is down. Punt is down at the 30-yard line by Danny Alejandrez. We'll check the penalty here.
I think it's either movement on the punting team or too many men on the field, because the Spirit were scrambling to get guys onto the field towards the end of the... Yeah, it was 12 men on the field on that one.
12 men on the field.
Well, if I'm Hollister, Louie, I just take the play as it is. You got the ball at the 30-yard line.
I don't know. I think if it was me, I'd have him punt it again. I didn't look like that punter had too much of a strong leg. You know, maybe a little nervous, but I'd push him back and let him try and punt it again and get a return or in a little better field position.
Oh, that's why you're the coach. You are right. They're going to have him punt it again, so Jose Romero's going to have another shot at it here. And
out of Watsonville.
Again, we've got number 4 back there. That's Reginald Sibley, and the unknown, number 5 for Hollister.
Yeah, there's a bit of a breeze, and the breeze is looking into the punter's face, so...
I saw you talking to one of the officials before the game. Are these high school officials?
Yeah.
Okay.
These are SECL officials.
And how would you assess their
They're
work?
just fine.
Of course he's going to say that. He's working on them for next year already. All right, Romero is counting his players this time. Doesn't want a repeat of what just happened. 12 men on the field was the penalty on the Spirit, backing them up. So now the line of scrimmage the 30-yard line. And the referees, as soon as we laud them, Louie, don't seem to know what's going on here.
I think they're just trying to figure out where to spot the ball.
And
looks like they are marching that penalty off.
they're going to back them up another 10 yards. The line of scrimmage now is the 20.
Yeah, and he'll be punting it from about the 10, so that was probably a good call on Hollister to move him back. The punt shanked to the right. Actually, it's a pretty good punt for the Spirit.
Downed again by Alejandro's right at midfield. So Hollister, in essence, gained 20 yards by accepting that penalty. Good decision by Coach Dave Clapham. And we'll get our first look at the Hollister offense and, of course, the Spirit defense.
And I think, talking to Coach Clark, I think he's running a pretty aggressive defense. He wants to bring everybody and get as many people near the ball as he can. Right now, he's got the corners up, doing the bump and run. Hollister looks like they have a two-back pro set.
That's Eric Snyder at quarterback, and a fumble. Who's got it? Spirit think they do. And they do indeed, as the referee points the Spirit way. So one play and a turnover. Mishandled snap that time by Hollister between Eric Snyder, and I didn't catch the running back's number. But either way, fumbled, recovered by the Spirit. So an early turnover here. They've got the ball in Hollister territory at the 49.
That happened so quick. I think Santa Cruz Spirit was a little happy to get the ball back real quick, try and get a better showing on this next series. I think the pregame jitters are a little bit out by now, and they're ready.
We believe Maurice Lee was the one that recovered that fumble, as he came off the field quite ecstatic. And we'll see now what Coach Clark comes with in their second possession. 1st and 10 at the Hollister 49. Man in motion is Torres. Looks like we got a false start.
Looks like a little anxious on the offensive side.
What is this a reflection of, Louie, these early penalties? Is it just lack of practice, lack of maturity?
I don't know about maturity. They're all pretty grown men here. What I think maybe maturity of playing football. I think the semi-pro, I don't know much about it, but I know that they're not practicing every day, and I think they only practice twice a week, and they all are, I think, ex-high school or college football players, except maybe the one or two that you talked about earlier. But I think this stuff's going to happen, especially early in the season. First game, they're excited, they're nervous, and they don't practice a lot.
Well, an early timeout called here by Coach Clark as he tries to get his squad organized. Demonstrative in that huddle out there on the field. Now, Louie, you told me before the game you saw them scrimmage. What did you see in the scrimmage that...
I seen them scrimmage a couple weeks back. I was out at Jade Street, and there was a couple teams, I think, from San Jose that came over to do a 3-team scrimmage. And, it's your typical this early in the game. Your defense is going to be way ahead of the offense, and the defense was real aggressive. The offense was still trying to figure out, what they got going and what's going to work and what's not going to work. So I think they did okay. I think the other two teams that they did scrimmage had been around for a while. So I think time will tell.
1st and 15 now for the Spirit out of the timeout. They're backed up to their own 46. Single back behind De La Paz is Rich Bourgeon. He's got Alejandro as right. Give to Bourgeon off right side. He gets outside, fumbles out of bounds, taking the hit, but a great run that time by Bourgeon, close to a first down. He's about 3 yards short, so 1st and 15 becomes 2nd and 3 for the Spirit.
Yeah, that was a really good run, and I think when you do the one-back offense, what it does do is it spreads the defense out, and if you could pop your running back through that interior line, he's going to see some green before the linebackers and DBs converge on him. That was a great play, great call.
Borjan, a big fullback, 6'1", 240. As I mentioned at the top, never played a down of organized football, but you wouldn't have known it from that run. 12 yards on the play, 2nd and 3. Single back behind De La Paz now is number 30, Anastasio Beltran. Give it to Beltran. Spins away from one. Tries to run over a second. He'll be close to the first down. Strong run by Beltran. He was brought down by number 56 for Hollister, Paul Williams. And they are going to measure, Louie, or did he get it?
I think they should measure it. Better safe to measure it, isn't it? Takes a minute to do it, and you're going to get the right call on that one. I believe this Mr. Beltran is a coach at Cabrillo. I think he's the defensive back coach, so he is definitely around football a lot.
Our volunteer chain gang brings out the chains. We'll see if the Spirit got their first down, and they have. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 38 of Hollister. So let it go down in the history books that the first down for the Santa Cruz Spirit was earned by Anastasio Beltran. Single back now behind De La Paz is Borjan. He's got Alejandras and Torres on the right side. David McLemore out top to the left. Give us to Borjan. He's met at the line. Gang tackled by Hollister. That'll be little or no gain. Bring up a 2nd and long, and they look big in there, Hollister does, Louie. I'm just glancing down at their roster. Number 97, Luis Dominguez, is 5'9", 300 at nose tackle. They've got some other big guys. At 77 at defensive end is Theo Stillwell, 6'2", 250. So
those are some big boys. They feed them well down at Hollister. I know the Hollister Hale-Bauer high school team usually has some pretty big kids.
They've also got up there number 69. That's Jason Russell. He was in on that last tackle. He goes 5'10", 280. So Santa Cruz will have to look outside, it appears, to get some offense. 4 wide receivers now on 2nd and long. De La Paz barks the signals, fakes the quick screen, and rolls out. Scrambling now, he's going backwards, gets a nice block from Beltran. Still scrambling, and goes out of bounds and gets drilled in the process. Big loss there, and he probably should have thrown that away, Louie.
Yeah, I think what happened was he wanted to throw a quick slant or something like that, and when he took his 3rd step to throw, the DB came running up, and so, like you said, I think he probably should have thrown it, just lose the down, but don't lose the yards.
Crunching tackle delivered there by Hollister, and now it sets up a 3rd and long. 3rd and about 15.
Well, talking about coaches, the Santa Cruz Spirit has some local guys that are player coaches. Eden Renero, class of, I'm not really sure, but he's been around forever coaching at Santa Cruz High. He's a player coach.
3 wide receivers now. Borjan behind De La Paz on 3rd and 15. Gives to Borjan off the left side. He breaks one tackle and another. Gets some good yardage. Won't be enough for a first down, but he advanced it to about the 34. It'll be 4th and 5 in Hollister territory. So again, a decision here for Coach Clark. You might as well go for it.
Yeah, if I was Coach Clark, I'd go for it. It's 4th and 5. You know, this is a good time. It's early still, and you're on inside the 30, so this would be a great time to do some kind of trap pass, some kind of play action with the quarterback the option to run it.
De La Paz huddles his team as they are going to go for it on 4th and 5 from the Hollister 35. They need to get just inside the 30 for a first down. And again, they go 4 receiver set with Beltran behind De La Paz. Got a man open right side. No. Oh, and they're going to get a penalty that time as Alejandro's ran the slant, was cut off. Referees caught it. This will be an automatic first down.
Yeah, the other coaches for the Santa Cruz Spirit, you have Coach Clark, and he was the founder of this USAFF in 1992. He's coached his own team for 7 years. His coaching resume, it seems like he's coached a lot of places. He's coached at Del Mar High School. He's coached at San Jose High. He's coached at Woodside High. He's coached at Menlo Atherton. He's been a coach at Mountain View High, and he's did a little college coaching at Menlo College.
15-yard penalty on the pass interference puts the ball inside the Hollister 20-yard line. 1st and 10 at the 19. So the Spirit are knocking on the door here, trying to get their first ever touchdown. 3 wide receivers now for De La Paz. Beltran behind him as the lone back. Give us to Beltran. Up the middle, breaks 2 tackles. Runs into a wall, but not before he picks up some yardage. Looks like he got about 6 on the play. Great running that time by Beltran. Will be 2nd and short inside the Hollister 15.
Yeah, that was a good run. You know, I think at this point, if I was Coach Clark, I would try and pound it in. Maybe throw something to the outside or into the end zone. But, you know, you're inside that 15-yard line. You need to really protect the ball and get away with either a field goal or a touchdown here.
And of course, Louie, you always hear in football talking about time of possession, and certainly the Spirit have dominated that. Their defense should be fresh. And on the other side, Hollister may start to wear down. They've been on the field virtually the entire first quarter as we approach the 7-minute mark. 2nd and 4 now. Again, a 3 wide receiver set. This time it's Bourgeon behind De La Paz. Play action, goes up the middle, looks for the big tight end. Ball knocked away, incomplete. Intended receiver Robert Harrington, 6'4", 250-pounder out of Tracy, California, but a nice play that time. Defensively by Hollister, it'll be 3rd and 4.
Yeah, back to these coaches. The other coaches they have is Chris Myers. He's a D-line player coach. He coaches the Frost Off at Branham High. Then you have Beltran. He's a player coach, and I believe he coaches at Creighton College. And then you have Tom Chacon. He is the special team coach, and he is not a player coach, but it's great that he's out there helping Coach Clark.
That last defensive play for Hollister was made by the mysterious number 5, and this is a quick play that time. Quarterback draw, I believe, by De La Paz. And he got the first down, so quick count that time. Right out of the huddle, Louie. 1 snap, 1 call, and it was gone. Caught them off guard, and it's a 1st and goal now.
Now, at this point of the game, the Santa Cruz Spirit really need to protect the ball and drive it in and make history on this first touchdown.
3 wide receiver set. Tight end on the right side is Harrington. Beltran stands behind De La Paz. 1st and goal from the 8. Play action rollout. De La Paz, he's got a man over, throws him. Oh my. Robert Harrington was wide open at the 2. De La Paz couldn't hit him, and we've also got a penalty on the flag, a hold. So really the throw was moot there, as it would have come back anyways. So now it'll be 1st and goal from the 18. Nice play though, well designed, Louie.
Yeah, that was a good play. You try and get the quarterback out in the flats and get your tight end to delay a second, then run a sideline route, and I think the quarterback has his option on that, either to throw it or run it. He chose to throw it. The guy was wide open, but it would have came back anyways. But it was definitely a good play, good call.
Wow, it looks like they're going to call that a 15-yard penalty. So now it'll be 1st and goal at the 23-yard line. So
yeah, they don't need to go end zone right here. I would get half of that back on something, maybe a quick pass or...
Shotgun formation, 4 wide receivers. De La Paz looks right. Again, he had a man open. That was number 20, Henry Torres, running the slant. Overthrown, however. Incomplete pass, so it'll be 2nd and goal now for the Spirit.
Yeah, I think that was a great route by the receiver. He was wide open, and the quarterback just missed him by a foot or so, and either way, that could have gone for a touchdown. I'd come back to that play, definitely.
Torres, a 5'8", 155-pounder out of SoCal High. As the referees are trying to get the scoreboard clock figured out. The clock was running despite the fact it was an incomplete pass. So we've got it straightened out now. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 23. And again, the Spirit go 4 wide receivers as they put tight end Robert Harrington in the slot. And that's Bourgeon behind De La Paz. Fake to Bourgeon. De La Paz keeps it. Dragged down after maybe a gain of a yard by number 11 and number 56. Number 11 is George Ford for Hollister. Number 56, Paul Williams. So they pursued that play quickly and cut him off, Louie, quite well.
Yeah, they did. You know, it's 3rd and long right now. I think a good call right now would be a screen or some kind of draw or something like that, where the Hollister is definitely going to be bringing everybody and trying to get somebody outside.
We'll give De La Paz a yard on that play, so it'll be 3rd and goal from the 22. As Beltran comes back in for the Spirit, Bourgeon goes to the sideline. Again, it'll be a 4 wide receiver set for De La Paz. We'll see what they can get done here on 3rd and long. Over the middle. Oh, the tight end couldn't quite hold on. That was number 80, Robert Harrington. Took a couple of blows there as the ball arrived. Tough one to come up with. That'll be 4th down now and goal from the 22. And it appears again as if they're going to... Nope, they're going to call for the field goal. So
Yeah, that's a good call, you know. You got 4th from the 22. That's a long ways to go. And if you got a kicker that could kick it, I would definitely go with the field goal. My problem with us is we don't have anybody that could kick it that far.
Well, we'll see if number 32, Jose Romero, who doubles as the punter for the Spirit, can kick it that far. He's looking at a 38-yard field goal. See if he can get the first point in Santa Cruz Spirit history. The holder is number 5, the quarterback, De La Paz. High snap. De La Paz held it. Kick partially blocked, so it's live. Hollister could pick it up if they so choose, and they do. They're going to go for it. A run up the right side. He's at the 30. One man to beat. He's finally dragged down out of bounds. I believe that was number 31 for Hollister.
You know, they didn't get that, Joel, but that's the right call to make, you know. Go for the field goal.
And again, number 31 for Hollister is one of those unknowns, so we apologize. But nice play there to pick up the partially blocked field goal. Hollister gets the ball at their own 30-yard line. Nice job by De La Paz to control the high snap, but unfortunately Romero couldn't get it off before it was partially blocked. So Hollister, their second play, remember they fumbled to open the game, and it's a handoff up the middle. No gain there.
No, and we talked about that earlier. It looks like Coach Clark had everybody up there, and he was bringing the house on that one. And I think in amateur football, I think that would be a great move, is to bring as many guys as possible and make that quarterback make the call right there on the line of scrimmage. And he has the DBs are up on the receivers as it is, and looks like everybody's up again.
Well, the Hollister roster list number 7 is Eric Snyder, but I just found out it's Juan Rios who's number 7, the quarterback. And he rolls out, pitches out now. Loss on the play that time. Gang tackled over there. Number 44 for the Spirit, Rich Bourgeon, was in on the tackle, as was number 55, Maurice Lee. So it'll be 3rd and long for Hollister. Now they're being quarterbacked by Juan Rios.
Yeah, that was just a simple option play to the right, and the Spirit did a great job of covering the quarterback and the pitchman on that.
The man doing the running for Hollister on that play was Ray Baca, number 2. 2 backs now behind Rios on 3rd and long from their own 25. Spirit with a 4-man front. Rios back to pass, looks long, he's got a man, diving attempt, incomplete. Great attempt by number 22 on Hollister, that's Ryan Mead. Coverage on the play by Kelvin Nivens of the Spirit, so that'll be 3 and out for Hollister. They've got 4 plays here, Louie. A fumble, -5 yards, not much going on for them offensively.
Well, on that play, that actually was a pretty good play. I mean, the quarterback pretty much threw it where he had to throw. The receiver was covered, and, you know, if he makes that catch, that's a great play. But like you said, they've had 4 plays, and they haven't been too positive on that. But give the Spirit their credit.
Timeout here as we've got confusion on the Hollister side. Appeared as if they would have had 12 men on the field had that play been snapped, so wise decision to call timeout. Their punter, as we should mention now, is number 42, Michael Reyes. And back to receive for the Spirit when we resume play will be number 2, Dave Adams, out of North Salinas. 3:04 to go, first quarter. No score between Santa Cruz and Hollister. You're watching the Adult Football League on community television. Joel Domhoff alongside Louie Walters. Glad you could join us. Beautiful day for football. We're at the SLV San Lorenzo Valley High School campus. And Louie, we were talking before the game about what you've got going. Scotts Valley is a new high school, as many people know, and you're trying to get a football program built there. How's it going?
It's going, you know, anytime you're dealing with a brand new program, you're going to have your trials and tribulations, but it's been going fine. Kids are excited, the community's excited about football.
Low snap, Reyes handles it and gets it off. Adams lets it bounce wisely. It'll trickle out of bounds at around the 36, 37 yard line. So a great job that time by the Hollister punter, Michael Reyes, to get that kick off after a pretty bad snap. He was able to control it and get it off. So
actually, that was a great punt.
Yeah, he got him down to the 37 yard line. So about a 40-yard punt under dire consequences. So third possession of the game now for the Spirit offense. And again, I talked about it earlier, but their defense hasn't been on the field at all. Hollister's defense, on the other hand, may start to get tired.
Yeah, the Spirit's defense is well rested, that's for sure at this point.
Many of them playing 2 ways. As we mentioned, Borjan was in on a tackle, and of course he's been gaining some yards as the Spirit running back. So part of what you see here in adult leagues is you play both ways. Single back now behind De La Paz is Beltran, and before we can snap it, another penalty. Looks like it'll be a false start on the Spirit. Again, they shoot themselves in the foot with a penalty. It'll back them up 5 yards.
Yeah, they're just a little nervous out there, Joel. I think a little too excited. You know, it's good to see these local kids coming and playing this adult football. You know, you go and you play college football, and then there's a small percentage to go to the next level, like we've seen with Reggie Stephens. But you know, they're playing because they love the game.
Yeah, in fact, that's the motto that Jim Clark has as founder of this whole adult football federation, is for the love of the game, and that's really why they're here.
Oh, yeah.
There's no other level to go to from here. This is just out here because you love it. So,
you know, I've played in a few of those alumni games, and I probably could handle 1 game a year, but to play once a week, practice twice a week, don't think my body could take it, and I don't think my wife would either.
Looks like we've got another timeout on the field. I believe Hollister called it, so that's their second of the quarter. 2:54 to go here. The Spirit out of the timeout will have a 1st and 15 from their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, you know, with these guys playing, I think once the league gets a little more established with the Santa Cruz teams, we're going to get a lot more people interested in it. The younger kids, I look on this roster, and there's a lot of people from Harbor and SoCal and Aptos. There is no SLV kids on here, and the last few years they've been pretty dominant in football, and those are the kids they need out here. And I think Coach Clark will get them out here, especially if this is their home field.
First and 15 out of the timeout. Again, it's a 3 wide receiver set for the Spirit. And there's a fumble. Oh, no. Recovered by Hollister's number 30, Beltran. Couldn't hold on to it. Recovered by number 5, the mystery man for Hollister. Of course, the guy that we don't have a name on makes the most plays here for Hollister. So it'll be first down Hollister at the Spirit 41-yard line. Big turnover there, Louie.
Yeah, it just seemed like he was so excited to get out in the open, and the ball just either got popped out or wasn't protecting the ball. But it was a good run before that happened.
Ralph Macias is number 5, the mystery man no longer. Handoff up the middle. Fighting, struggling forward for a couple of yards for Hollister.
That's a great defensive play on there. Everybody was swarming to the ball, and
Jeff Nevinger making that play, Louie. 6-foot linebacker out of Redlands. Running back for Hollister was number 2, Ray Baca. As I said, he fought his way forward for a couple yards, so it'll be 2nd and 8.
I think that was Hollister's best play from line of scrimmage right there.
Second and 8. Again, the give to Baca. Cuts back against the grain. Breaks a tackle. Gets outside. Finally thrown out of bounds by number 4, Kelvin Nivens. But not before a positive gain for Hollister. Close to a first down. It'll be 3rd and about a yard, so nice running that time by Ray Baca.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, that's a good situation. I would probably throw the ball, do a play action, and if you don't get it, you still got 4th down. You're not going to punt it from at that point. But we'll see what they come up with.
I formation now for Hollister on 3rd and 1. Give is to the deep back, and he's drilled behind the line of scrimmage. Making the play, number 40, Will Lensner.
There's a penalty.
And a taunting penalty be called here, and that's unfortunate because he made a great play.
I think they've been watching a little too much XL there, Joel. What do you think?
Yeah, no need for that. Lensner made a great play. No need to take it any further. Let the play speak for itself. He drilled the runner behind the line of scrimmage.
He's just a little excited out there.
Ryan Mead, the carrier, and he 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty. That'll bring with it an automatic first down, Louie, so very costly for the Spirit. These officials aren't tolerating much.
No, and that was a mental mistake in football. I mean, he made a great play. The best bet is just get back in that huddle and get ready for 4th down, but now it's first down.
Ball moved all the way up to the Spirit 20-yard line. 1st and 10, split backs now. Behind the quarterback, Juan Rios for Hollister. He keeps, breaks a tackle, spins back, though, into the arms of number 8, Damon Hansen. Play finished off that time by Lensner. Nice play by the Spirit defense. It'll be 2nd and 10.
It was a great play by Damon Hansen.
It's Will Lensner again on the play. On the Santa Cruz defense.
So with 30 seconds to go in the first quarter, scoreless first quarter here from SLV High School. If it's a running play, it's likely the last play we'll see of the first quarter. 2nd and 10 for Hollister at the Spirit 20-yard line. 2 wide receiver set. Rios back to pass. He's rushed heavily, escapes, steps up. Oh my, crunching hit by number 99, Lamar Brooks of the Spirit, who poses in front of the crowd, much to the delight of this Spirit crowd.
That was a great play on defense, and I think, like I said earlier, is Coach Clark, he's bringing it. He's got those D-line excitement and bringing the heat, and that showed on that play.
Lamar Brooks, a 5'11", 296-pound defensive end out of North Salinas. Did a nice job that time, persistent on the play. So he ends the first quarter for the Santa Cruz Spirit with a sack. So we'll move to the other end of the field. The end of one, no score. Santa Cruz Spirit, Hollister Barnstormers, adult football on Community TV. We'll be back in just a moment.
You studied, took driver's ed, you bugged your parents to let you practice driving, the driveway, the parking lot, then whoa, the street. And you're gonna throw it all away over drinking? You worked hard to get your hands on this little piece of plastic. Hang on to it. Underage drinking and drunk driving aren't legal. They're not smart.
A message from the American beer industry and America's broadcasters.
Back for the second quarter of action after a scoreless first quarter. Hollister with the ball, 3rd and long at the Spirit 27-yard line after the sack by Brooks. Single back now for Hollister, and it's a draw. Up the middle, cut off nicely, though, by number 55, Maurice Lee.
That was a great play. Joe, I think I'm going to turn this over to a former Brigham Young football player, coaches with me at Scotts Valley. He's our offensive coordinator, and get a little insight from him on the second quarter. His name is Donovan Lazar.
All right, Donovan, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you here on a beautiful day for football.
It's always a beautiful day when there's football.
And it appears as if Hollister's going to go for it on 4th and long. Why not? Split backs behind the quarterback, Juan Rios. Fakes the handoff, rolls right. Pressured, though. Up the middle, comes from Brooks. He gets away once, but not a second time. He's sacked and a fumble. Ball still loose. Picked up by Hollister, but it doesn't matter. Either way, it's Santa Cruz ball. Great defense early on by the Spirit.
You know, they've had a great rush. The Hollister team's had a tough time getting anything going with their passing game.
Again, the people causing havoc for the Spirit. Number 8, Damon Hanson. Number 99, Lamar Brooks. They brought the heat on the quarterback, Juan Rios. Sack, fumble. And since it was 4th down, it didn't matter. Santa Cruz has the ball at their own 40. 1st and 10.
It seems like both teams are trying to get a rhythm going here. And first game of the season, it's going to take a little bit of time to get into sync, but it looks like the Spirit's been moving the ball pretty nicely if they can stay away from some of the penalties here.
And their defense has been impressive early on.
Defense has been fantastic.
De La Paz will have a single back behind him. That'll be number 30, Anastasio Beltran. 4 wide receiver set as they put the tight end Harrington in the slot. De La Paz, play action, looks deep. Instead, he's going to run left side. He's got room. He gains big yards past midfield. 1st down, inside Hollister territory to the 47.
It was definitely a good call. He saw that he had some room, and he took advantage of it, get him over the 50-yard line, and now they've got some room to work here.
De La Paz obviously has some foot speed as he beat the linebacker outside that time, was able to turn the corner. And in front of us, that's number 99, Lamar Brooks, imploring the crowd to get going.
Getting the fans going out here on a nice Saturday.
1st and 10 at the 47 for the Spirit. As you said, they've been able to move the ball, just haven't been able to get on the board. Again, 4 wide receivers for De La Paz to work with, and the single back Beltran. Fakes the quick pass, instead rolls back. He's got time, looks across the middle. He's got a man, that's number 21, McLemore. Are they going to call it fumble or incomplete? Incomplete. Fortunate for the Spirit there.
You know, they've thrown a couple of good balls, and the guys just aren't hanging on to them. If they can hang on to these balls, they'd be doing okay. That was a nicely executed play.
Yes, David McLemore was wide open that time, and De La Paz hit him in the numbers. Unfortunately for the Spirit, he couldn't hang on, so it'll be 2nd and 10.
It's the first game jitters here. Get these jitters out of there, and should see some offense here.
Yeah, we've seen that with drop passes, fumbles, penalties, all stuff you would expect to see in the first game. First ever game for the Santa Cruz Spirit.
That it is.
3 wide receivers right, 1 left. That's McLemore on the left side. Beltran crouches behind De La Paz on 2nd and 10. Fakes to Beltran, rolls right. He's got a man down there. He hits him this time. Number 88, I believe. Yes, it was. That's Danny Alejandrez out of Soquel High School. First down, Spirit.
If they can keep this momentum going, they could have something here. De La Paz is throwing nicely, a good execution on the plays, and now they're starting to hang on to the ball here.
And Alejandrez has shown us early on here that he can run solid routes and he can get open. He's been open a couple times. That time De La Paz delivered the ball and he hung on. So 1st and 10, ball just inside the 35 of Hollister. De La Paz has the Spirit moving. Rich Bourgeon now into the backfield for Santa Cruz, replacing Beltran. 3 wide receivers this time for De La Paz. Give is to Bourgeon, left side. He gets outside, picks up a block, stumbles his way to the 25-yard line. He'll be close to the first down. Got a great block outside, too, from the wide receiver McLemore to get him open.
You know, Bourgeon's carried the ball a few times today, and every one of them he's looked pretty good. He runs hard, he's quick, and he's a big boy out there. And, you know, if they keep this up, they're doing great here on this drive. Looks like they got 2nd and 1, so see what they pull out here.
And Donovan, let me ask you this as a former player. If you saw Bourgeon play, would you know that he's never played 1 down of organized football?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He looks like a stud out there. He's running hard and he's hit hard. He looks like he's played many years.
Well, for his efforts, he takes a rest on the sideline as Beltran checks back in on 2nd short. And again, a quick snap as De La Paz takes it right up the middle. Penalty flag. Not sure it was a penalty. They did this in the first quarter.
Looked like they had a little bit of movement. Nobody was really set, and they just snapped the ball.
This was a play they ran in the first quarter where De La Paz just went to the line and on a quick snap ran up the middle. But they're going to call a false start on Santa Cruz that time, as you said, so they weren't quite set. That'll cost them 5 yards. So 2nd and 1 becomes 2nd and 6.
These are the things they have to avoid on drives like this. It's just these are drive stoppers, and they can't afford to have these penalties.
Ball just outside the Hollister 30-yard line.
Still 2nd down. Ball on about just outside the 30.
As De La Paz comes over to get the play from Coach Jim Clark.
De La Paz checking back in.
Inside 12 minutes to go in the first half. Scoreless game here from SLV High School. Santa Cruz Spirit looking to change that, though. They have the ball 2nd and 6 at the Hollister 30. Shotgun now for De La Paz. Looks right side. He's got a man, but he overthrows him. That was Alejandrez. Pass incomplete. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 6. De La Paz had him open that time.
You know, it was another nicely executed play. He was wide open. De La Paz just overthrew the ball. They're definitely getting their guys open. If they can tone this down a little bit, and they can pick this team apart, and we can see something go here.
I was talking with Louie earlier about the size on the Hollister front line makes it tough to run against them, but they haven't put much pressure on De La Paz as far as when he goes back to pass. So it seems as if they could get some
really
passes
haven't
going.
been blitzing at all. It seems like he's got some time. He just needs to connect on these throws.
3rd and 6 now. 3 receivers set. Beltran in the slot behind De La Paz. Fake roll out right. Jump pass complete. No, not hung on. A big hit delivered by number 5, Robert Macias. That'll bring up 4th down.
That was a fantastic hit. He really put the hit on him on that play.
Macias, a 6'4", 205-pounder. He's the one that's been making all the plays throughout this first half for Hollister. And that'll set up a 4th and 5 from the 30. It appears as if the Spirit will go for it. The intended receiver there was the tight end, Robert Harrington, and he had it, but it was just the timing of the hit was so perfect by Macias, it fell incomplete. Shotgun now for De La Paz on 4th down. 2 wide receivers right. And the man in motion now is Torres. Rolls right, looks back to his left. No one open. Now looks back to the right. Almost picked off. Ball falls incomplete again. It was Macias there knocking it away.
Macias is having a great game so far. He's really coming up for Hollister on defense and stepped right in front of that one. If he had caught that one, he was gone. No question about it.
Yeah, because the design of the play was to roll left, so really Harrington and De La Paz were the only 2 guys there on the right side. Of course, Harrington was the intended receiver, so it would have been De La Paz against Macias, and I don't think that would have.
A little bit of a mismatch there.
So they turn it over on downs. Again, a frustrating drive in some aspects, encouraging for others for the Spirit. They move the ball. They just don't have any points to show for it. So
little
again,
mistakes.
It'll be Hollister ball.
Little mistakes are shutting down their drives.
1st and 10 on their own 30. Quarterback for Hollister, Juan Rios. As the Spirit show us, 7-man front. It looks like they're going to be aggressive here and trying to pressure Rios. Quick pass over the middle. He's got a man, but he throws it too high.
You know, he had the guy wide open. Again, just not a good play for this gentleman out there trying to catch the ball. Looks like number 88 tried to make that catch. If he had had it, there was nobody in front of him.
Yeah, Brian Cortez, 6'2", 195-pounder. As we said, he was open, but the pass just a little too tall for him. And because there were so many men up front, and even Dave Adams threatened to blitz from the corner position, there really was no one there.
So they're bringing it on, that's for sure. But the little plays like that are gonna hurt if they can execute them.
Back to a 5-man front now for the Spirit on 2nd and 10. Pass left side, complete, but a quick tackle. Well done. That's number 3, Jamil Vaughn on the play as he brings down number 22 for Hollister, Ryan Mead. So that'll set up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, defensively, that looked good. They gave him a little bit of space, but not enough to really get anything out of it. And offensively as well, they executed nicely. They got the play off, completed the ball, and the receiver held on to it.
Good fundamental tackle that time by number 3, Jamil Vaughn. He's a 5'11", 175-pounder out of Harbor High School. Did a great job wrapping up the receiver, not letting him get any more yardage. So, as we said, 3rd and 6 now from their own 34. 3 wide receivers for Hollister. Rios back to pass. He's drilled, though. Sacked again by number 99, Lamar Brooks. Number 91, Shea Ackerley. And number 8, Damon Hansen. Beautiful pass rush we've seen from the Spirit early.
They are really bringing it. They are giving him no time to throw the ball. They look fantastic. They're rushing hard, and it doesn't seem like they have much of a problem getting through that offensive line of Hollister.
That'll set up a 4th and long. Punt time for Hollister. Back to receive the punt for the Spirit will be number 2, Dave Adams. Punting for Hollister will be number 42, Michael Reyes.
I have a chance here for the Spirit to get something going and have their offense start clicking.
Another low snap. Reyes handles it again, though, and it gets off a good punt. Adams waits for it. Avoids one tackler and still trying to get away. But eventually the entire team tackles him, and flags now come down.
Looked like the player had his foot hooked in there and just kind of held him up for all the Hollister guys to come down and take pot shots at him.
We'll figure out the penalty here as Adams made the catch and tried to struggle forward for yardage, but ends up with no gain. He caught it at the 30, and that's where it's spotted.
Looks like a possible personal foul here.
I think we had something going on away from the ball, some pushing and shoving, and these refs have shown that the PA announcer here trying to get the crowd into this game. It's a scoreless game with 8.5 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. We're still trying to figure out this penalty situation. And these refs have shown that they're not going to tolerate much in the way of extracurricular stuff.
No, they've been pretty stringent on throwing the flag here, and that's good. It keeps a clean game. And Everyone out here wants to have a clean game, play fair, and I think that makes a lot of sense. And teams just getting going early in the season are going to show they're going to have more penalties, trying to click, get things going. But the personal foul penalties are unnecessary, and if that's what this is, then you need to get rid of that.
Well, while we wait for these referees to sort this stuff out, Donovan, tell us, are you a local boy? Were you a local high school kid here, or are you just coaching now?
I went to 2 years at Pioneer High School in San Jose, and I finished out my high school in Utah.
Okay.
And I coach with Louie Walters at Scotts Valley and live over there with my wife and 2 kids.
Okay. And you, Louie said you played at BYU?
I played at Brigham Young for a couple of years. I did probably 5, 6, 7 years in the semi-pro circuit back east. And football's a great game. I enjoy coaching. It's fun.
And what position? You played defensive line, Louie said?
No, I was a running back.
Oh, okay. You were running back. Okay. And how did the East Coast leagues compare? I mean, obviously this isn't semi-pro, but was it good competition back there for the semi-pro stuff?
It was very aggressive. It was most semi-pro teams that I've seen, at least on the West Coast, are maybe a notch above a junior college level. The teams back east, I think, were a notch above Division II or Division I AA. There were some guys out there. And unfortunately, a lot of them really just wanted to tear your head off. Whereas out here, it's a little more laid back, and
right.
People come out, they play for fun. But back east, there were some leagues that they really were trying to get to the next level. Whereas I played because I loved it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we figured it out. I guess they've got a penalty on Hollister, and the Spirit have elected to force them to punt again. So Adams will get another shot here. Hollister's backed up 5 yards. Apparently they had an illegal man downfield. So Reyes will get another chance to punt. Adams another chance to receive. Low kick to the left. Don't think Adams will have a chance to do much with it as it bounces away from him, but ball down at the 38, so the Spirit gaining 8 yards in essence there by accepting that penalty, so it'll be 1st and 10 at their own 38.
Anytime you can push a team back a little bit, it makes sense, and they were hoping to get a good return, and unfortunately with the low kick they didn't, but they gained 8 yards on the play, so it was to their benefit.
So the Santa Cruz Spirit offense takes the field once again. The Spirit defense getting applause as again they shut down Hollister. We'll see if the Spirit this time can get some points on the board.
The defenses look great. It's time for the offense to get out there, get some things clicking, and might put some points on the board here before half.
8:14 until we reach that halftime mark that Donovan just mentioned. De La Paz now, 3 wide receiver set. Behind him is Beltran. Fakes the handoff, rolls left. He's got some room. He kicks up a block and gains about 6 yards on the play. So nice run there by De La Paz and a nice little block there by number 21, McLemore, the wide receiver, to free him up.
That was a well-executed play. They faked it up the middle and then let De La Paz take it around in. He's got a lot of foot speed. It made a lot of sense. They're sucking him right in there and getting that outside wide open.
Taking advantage of their quickness. As we said, Hollister's got a big defensive line, but they haven't shown much ability to get outside with De La Paz, as he's had a couple of those type runs now, and that time he got 6 yards. He's got the ball at the 46-yard line. 2nd and 4. Bourgeon now behind De La Paz, 3 wide receivers again. Give us to Bourgeon. He's got room up the middle, runs over one man, carries the pile forward, past midfield. He'll pick up enough for the 1st down. Again, the Spirit moving the ball well. Another 1st down in Hollister territory at the 49.
Bourgeon is just a freight train. He gets that ball, he gets moving. He's a big boy out there, and he's been tough to bring down.
One of those guys that actually looks for contact. He's not shy about it. In fact, he probably runs better after he bounces off a couple people.
He's definitely not avoiding anybody out there. There's no question about that.
They're going to spot the ball directly at the 50-yard line, so 4-yard gain is all they needed. 2nd and 4, he got 4, so 1st and 10. Bourgeon remains in the game behind De La Paz. 3 wide receivers, McLemore, Torres, and Alejandrez. Give again to Bourgeon. Again, he bowls his way up the middle, carrying the pile forward. 11-yard gain for Bourgeon and another first down.
What a great run. He just took the ball, kept driving his legs, and they're having a tough time stopping him. I might start focusing my offensive game plan around that boy out there.
And a great job now by the Spirit offensive line opening holes now for Bourgeon. Bourgeon does bang off of people, and he does do a good job in running people over, but he needs some daylight, and he's gotten it these last 2 carries.
They're starting to click here. Now what they need to do is stay away from some of the penalties and some of the mistakes and continue on with this game plan. It looks good right now, and if they can keep rolling here, we might get some points on that blank board over there.
We might see our first ever Santa Cruz Spirit touchdown. And Hollister on their heels calling timeout here, so they're going to try and diagram a way to stop Bourgeon, who in the last 2 carries has 15 yards and a lot more in damage as far as what he's inflicted on their defensive team there.
Yeah, you got to figure as the game wears on, he keeps coming at you. They're going to start to get a little tentative when he's running at him because he's definitely punishing those defensive players for Hollister.
Especially as I talked about with Louie in the first quarter, time of possession. I mean, the offense has been out there so long for the Spirit, which of course means that Hollister's defense has been out there. And as you said, if they've got Bourgeon pounding them for 4 quarters.
Well, absolutely. Eventually they're going to wear down. You have somebody like Bourgeon coming at you, every other play. It's gonna wear on you. And some of these bigger Hollister linemen, depending on what kind of shape most of them are in, they're going to start sucking wind here after a while. It's tough to be out there on your heels for 4 quarters trying to stop a guy like Bourgeon.
All right, out of the timeout, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Spirit at the 39-yard line of Hollister. Bourgeon still in the game behind De La Paz. Left side, it's McLemore. Up top, it's Alejandrez. And in the slot is Henry Torres. De La Paz under center. Bourgeon right behind him. Fake to Bourgeon, rolls right. Looks down. Oh, he had a man open again. That was the tight end, Harrington, who got drilled as the ball got there. Couldn't come up with it. It'll be 2nd and 10.
That was a great hit, but that's probably the 3rd or 4th time I've seen Harrington drop one. And, even though you're getting hit, you still have to hold on to those balls because these are very well executed plays. And it looks like Hollister's starting to key on that run up the middle, and they're pulling out these trap passes or these, the bootleg passes, and these guys have to hang on to it. That was a 6-7 yard play if he could have held on to it.
Big difference between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 10.
Absolutely.
And Bourgeon is going to check out now. Beltran back in, number 30, for the Spirit. Same 3 receivers for De La Paz to choose from if he does indeed pass. Hollister showing a 6-man front here as the linebackers threaten the blitz. De La Paz fakes the handoff, rolls left. He's got a man, goes, and it's almost picked off. Maybe should have been picked off by number 23 for Hollister. That's Lance Goularte.
He had his man wide open, and he just overthrew it right into the arms of the Hollister defender.
Yeah, Henry Torres out of Soquel High School did, as you said, get himself wide open. Just the pass was so long that he really had no chance to catch that.
No, none at all. The pass was thrown right into the defender's hands. And De La Paz has had an up-and-down game so far. He's thrown some good balls, and then he's thrown something like that. He needs to just get into a rhythm here, and he's got receivers wide open. It's just a matter of hitting them.
3rd and 10 now from the Hollister 39. 4 wide receivers now for De La Paz as Harrington goes in the slot. Shotgun formation. Hollister wanted a false start there on the Spirit line. Didn't get the call. De La Paz back to throw. He's got a man wide open. That's Alejandrez. Can't quite get forward for the first down. Got it to about the 31. It'll be 4th and 2. So that time a nice catch by Danny Alejandrez, but he couldn't quite get forward enough for the first.
They gave him a lot of cushion out there. He had some room. They gave him the cushion, but it looked like he was just short of that first down.
Yeah, they're actually going to mark it at the 32, so it'll be 4th and 3.
Looked like he was closer than that, though. It was a well-executed play, just a little bit short here.
Spirit, though, electing to go for it as we approach 6 minutes to go in the first half. 4th and 3 at the 32. Why not go for it?
You know, they're moving the ball well again. A couple drop balls, bad throw, and, you know, they might have a touchdown now.
3 wide receivers now as Harrington goes to the line. Beltran behind De La Paz. Oh, and De La Paz wanted the ball, but the center didn't give it to him, so that'll be a penalty. Now it's a 4th and 8, and they're calling for the field goal. But
that's one heck of a field goal there.
Unless Jan Stenerud or someone like that is one of their kickers, don't want to knock Jose Romero, but we haven't seen him show the ability to hit a 50-yarder.
I think that would come out to about a 53-yarder where they're going to mark this.
Yeah, I don't think that that would be the brightest coaching move, but
we might get some pro scouts down here if we can hit this one.
It looks as if Coach Jim Clark is going to reconsider now that he sees where the ball is. We've got a timeout. Santa Cruz, 5:56 to go. They've got a 4th and 6 now from the Hollister 37-yard line, so that would be a 54-yarder.
54-yarder, and I'd have to say that's not likely.
Yeah.
It's a tough kick for professionals.
Unless they give him 2 kicks at it.
Yeah, he might have a couple tries here. I don't know the exact rules of this league.
Kick it from the 54 to the 27, and then you kick it from the 27 in. But
it's kind of like a 2-putt.
Yeah, exactly. Give them 2 putts at it.
You know, again, the penalties here are really killing these drives. Little mistakes, but there's no excuse for offside penalties. You have 4th down, 3.5 yards to go, and just completely shut down this drive. Unless they can pull something out here for about 7-8 yards.
Yeah, 4th and 3 and 4th and 8 are very different, as you well know. And we'll see what they try. I don't think a punt is what Jim Clark has in mind, so they are going to go for it, but we'll see what they can get.
I don't think you burn a timeout to get your punt team ready.
Yeah. So out of the timeout, he'll go 4 wide receivers. He'll put Harrington in the slot. It'll be Beltran behind De La Paz, so we'll see what the Spirit can do on 4th and 8. Fakes the handoff, rolls left. Looking for a man. He's got him wide open. It's the running back, Beltran, who catches it. He's got enough for the first down. Spirit ball at the 22 of Hollister.
That was a great play. Beltran came right from the backfield up the middle and right out in the left flat out there. That was a fantastically executed play, and the line did a great job of keeping the Hollister linemen out of there.
And they were coming that time. You could see De La Paz had to get outside quickly and get the pass off quickly, but he had enough time, as you said, and a nice catch by Beltran. So the Spirit, once again, knocking on the door. They've been doing this throughout the first half. Nothing to show for it.
They're starting to click. They're putting up some yards. They're getting the ball down within the 20. It looks like they're about 2 yards away from that if they can pull this out here.
4 receiver set, Beltran behind De La Paz. Feints back to pass, looks left side. Overthrows his man, intended receiver David McLemore in the slot. It'll be 2nd and 10.
You just can't afford to make those mistakes. He's got guys wide open. It looks like a short hitch pattern. I mean, those are elementary plays for a quarterback, and if he can hit those, he's got himself an opportunity to put the ball in the end zone.
And I was just going to question you as to why we had not seen Bourgeon back in this drive since he was running over Hollister. Of course, just as I say that, he comes in.
Fresh legs again.
Beltran,
he's ready to roll.
Beltran comes to the sideline, so we'll see if they use Bourgeon, who's been unstoppable so far as a fullback for the Spirit. 4 receivers again for De La Paz, 2 to either side. Quick slant to Alejandra as he escapes one tackler, dives forward. Pickup of about 6 yards. It'll be 3rd and short.
It was a nice play. It looked like one of the defensive guys might have tipped it. Ball looked like it shot off down to the ground. And looking at this Hollister team, they're really starting to play the pass here. And if they give this ball to Bourgeon up the middle a couple times, it might stop what they're trying to do on the defensive side because they're really spreading them out. And one guy in the box as a linebacker, and a guy like Bourgeon in there, that could spell trouble for Hollister.
Especially with the 4 receivers out there, you're spreading them out. It would seem that you'd just keep going to Bourgeon until they prove they can stop him.
Absolutely.
3rd and 4, we'll call it, at the 16-yard line of Hollister, and the give is to Bourgeon. He's got plenty of room. Hurdles one man, carries another, dives forward. They're going to call him down at the 1-yard line. What a run by Richard Bourgeon.
What a great run. Comes to the sideline, gets some fresh legs, goes back out, and just steamrolls again, and that was wide open. There was absolutely nobody on that side of the ball.
Great blocking that time by the Spirit offensive line. They must have trapped inside because, as you said, when he ran left, there was no one there. First guy that met him was a defensive back, and we know what kind of a mismatch that is.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm sitting up here and I wasn't that guy.
Of course, Bourgeon is a big guy, but he showed a little deftness of foot there as he leaped over the one tackler before running over a second and a third. So 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. We'll see if the Spirit can score their first ever touchdown. 4 receivers set, Bourgeon in the backfield. De La Paz keeps, tries to go forward, can't. He's gang tackled. And I really have to question this play calling. Bourgeon has been unstoppable. Feed, dance with the guy that brung you, or whatever they say.
He gets you down to the 1, let him have the play. I mean, he's been unstoppable. I don't think I've seen a play that he's been stopped for less than 5-6 yards. The 1-yard line, give it to your big boy over the top or come bang him right up the middle.
Yeah.
These guys can't stop him.
If they prove they can stop him 4 straight plays from getting a yard, then you tip your hat to him. Otherwise, feed the kitty. Give it to the big guy, Bourgeon. No gain that time. It'll be 2nd and goal now. 3 wide receiver set as they keep Harrington in to block and the tight end. Bourgeon behind De La Paz. Give to Bourgeon, straight up the middle. Touchdown! Rich Bourgeon from 1 yard out scores the Santa Cruz Spirit's first ever touchdown. They're on the board with 3:39 to go in the first half. 6-0 Spirit.
Well, there's a little history for you, and I think the right guy did it. They definitely called the right number on that play.
Just bowled his way forward, straight up the middle, nothing off tackle, no sweeps, nothing tricky, just gonna try and run you over, and he did. As again, Lamar Brooks comes over to get the crowd pumped up. And why not? He's been doing it on the defensive end, and now his team has a lead to work with, so they can really go after the quarterback now.
Absolutely. They put themselves in a good position for halftime.
Jose Romero to try the point after, and they fake it. De La Paz rolls out. Is he going to run or throw? He's going to run and get drilled.
Just stopped short. It looked like he was about a yard away, and
couldn't quite get through, so... Boy, they wanted to try a 50-yard field goal with Romero, but they didn't want to try a PAT. I don't know. I guess, it's the first game. Coach Clark is experimenting, but
just
either
pulling
way,
it all
the
out.
Spirit are on the board, 6-0.
Yeah, the defense can maintain their play for what they've done in the first half here. They could go into halftime with a nice little lead and possibly get the ball back here for another drive at the goal.
Yeah, they've really been dominating Hollister's offense, so... they can get a 3 and out here, definitely will have time to put some more points on the board. The Santa Cruz crowd enjoying what they saw that time from the Spirit offense, in particular Rich Bourgeon.
Bourgeon's looked great. He just seems to keep getting stronger as the half ends here. I don't see Hollister being able to stop him. They've run him to the outside, to the inside, and every time he gets around that corner or through that middle, those defensive backs they don't have any control over what's about to hit them.
Well, he may not have played a down of organized football, but he certainly knows his football. He's got jersey number 44, and football fans certainly know a lot of 44s, most notably, I would say, John Riggins of the Redskins, who, similar to Bourgeon, he'll just run over you.
The Diesel, absolutely.
So,
and that's who he reminds me of, too. And Riggins wasn't a slow guy either.
Deep kickoff by Romero. Ball fumbled around, finally picked up by Reyes of Hollister, and he's got room. Runs it up the middle, 35-40. Falls forward to the 43-yard line. So a good return that time for Hollister after a strong kick by Romero. Inside 3.5 to go. Spirit 6, Hollister nothing.
It's time for the defense to step up, continue what they've been doing.
The big boys up front in particular have been getting it done. Lamar Brooks, Shea Ackerley, and Damon Hansen have all just been very active on that line, filling the holes and
They've done a
pressuring the
great
quarterback.
job. Lamar Brooks has done a fantastic job out there, not to mention coming over and getting the crowd roaring.
Rios now with split backs behind him. Spirit with a 6-man front. Quick pitch to number 2. Sweep, flag on the play. We got all kinds of things going on. That was Ray Baca, who went left side and got about 8 yards. But Damon Hansen is calling it back. He's making the call on the Spirit side. He thinks there was some sort of illegal action going on with Hollister, and we'll get it sorted out here.
The whole play itself looked like a broken play to begin with. There was a strange quick pitch.
And it is on Hollister. It appears we got illegal contact.
I believe it's on Santa Cruz. Are they pulling it back there?
Yeah, I saw the referee point to Hollister.
The Hollister side was cheering, so I figured maybe it was on Santa Cruz, but I guess you're right.
Looks like
it's one heck of a penalty.
Wow, looks like a 15-yarder here. Getting a big break here, the Santa Cruz Spirit. After Baca went for about 8 yards on the gain, they're actually going to lose 15, so a 23-yard swing. And instead of 2nd and 2, it's 1st and 25. Hollister backed up now to their own 27, so now the Spirit can really just go after the quarterback. 3 wide receivers for Hollister. Rios with a quarterback draw, goes up the middle, and he's hit hard by number 40, Will Lensner. And again, Lamar Brooks got him low. Spirit defense continues to impress.
Yeah, as far as play calling goes, it wasn't a bad call. You got 1st and long. Spirit's thinking pass. And it looks like we have a late flag coming out here as well.
Another flag on the play. 2:49 remaining in the first half. Right now, 6-0 Santa Cruz.
They're calling a legal substitution, I believe, which is mysterious to the Spirit side of the ball, and so this will give Hollister some yards back. "12 men on the field on the Spirit, so
The 15-yarder right back at them. That's going to definitely hurt. They had them deep in their own territory with 1st and long, and actually after that last play it would have been 2nd and long, and now they get
2nd and 7, we'll call it.
Yeah.
The 45-yard line. So as you said, a big penalty there. Actually, it's an automatic 1st down. 1st and 7, is that right? Well, probably not, but we're going to play anyway. 1st and 7 from the 45. 3 wide receivers for Hollister. 2:40 to go in the half. Rios back to pass. He's looking deep. Man out there is number 42.
On that last play, I think they went back, and it was 1st down. They canceled the last play, and they brought the ball up, so it stayed 1st down. I don't think it was a 1st and 10 play.
Okay. Intended receiver there, Michael Reyes, number 42. He was overthrown by the cornerback Rios. Coverage on the play by number 4, Kelvin Nivens for the Spirit. So now we have 2nd and 7, 2:36 to go. Ball at the Hollister 45.
Spirit's got to step up here and play some tough D and hold them. They've still got enough time to get the ball back and go back downfield for another score.
Hollister goes to the I formation. Actually, no, it's a split back as number 4, Reginald Sibley. On the right, 2 wide receivers for Rios. Play action pass. Rios rolls right. He's being pressured. He's surrounded. Tries to cut back to no avail. He does fight forward, but he's drilled for doing so. Again, it's number 99, Lamar Brooks. He's going to let the crowd know about it. Another big hit for the defensive lineman from North Salinas.
Rios has taken a beating in this first half. The Spirit defensive line, as well as the linebackers, have really put hits on him today.
And actually, the first man over that time was none other than Rich Bourgeon, who just scored the Spirit's first ever touchdown. He was the one that initially made contact with Rios. Rios spun around, but Probably should have gone down because he ended up meeting number 99, Lamar Brooks. 2 minutes to go exactly. 3rd and 5 as Rios did pick up 2. Ball at the Hollister 47. Rios back to pass. Steps into the pocket. He's looking deep. Only man out there is for the Spirit. That's Dave Adams. He picked it off, and he's still going. He's at the 30. Cuts back, 35. Tries to get up to the 40. Falls forward.
You know, he was just backpedaling, watching the ball the whole way in.
So the first ever interception in Santa Cruz Spirit history goes to Dave Adams, defensive back out of North Salinas. And a nice return as well, as you said, just playing center field out there. Read the play the whole way. Pass was floated a bit. So with 1:46 to go and Santa Cruz leading 6-0, they have the ball at their own 39.
I know we're within 2 minutes, but I'd almost give it to Bourgeon every play and just let him roll downfield.
I'm not sure what the rule is in this league. I know at some levels they stop the clock for every first down. Don't know if they do that here. But you're right, although Bourgeon now on the bench as Beltran stands behind De La Paz. 4 receiver set, Torres in motion. De La Paz back to pass, looks left side. He had a man, McLemore, number 21. And Coach Jim Clark upset that McLemore didn't finish the pattern, but I think if he had, he would have been drilled.
You know, I think that's what it was. McLemore saw that there was somebody right there waiting for him, and he pulled up short onto his knees instead of diving out for that ball. And, you know, at some levels, that's acceptable. I don't know about this level, though.
Well, either way, it'll be 2nd and 10 now. Ball just short of the Santa Cruz 40-yard line after the return by Adams. 120 for Santa Cruz to work with here. And again, Bourgeon remains on the sideline. They're taping up his hand and right in front of us. It looks like his thumb, so perhaps that's the reason he's not in there. Either way, Beltran stands behind De La Paz. Play action pass. De La Paz rolls right. Doesn't have a man. He's drilled. Number 55 for Hollister with a crunching hit. You could hear up here, that's Ray Arroyo, 5'10", 200-pound linebacker, and De La Paz felt every pound of that one.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that was a coverage sack, as I would say. The defensive backs did a great job of covering the Spirit receivers, and De La Paz had some time, but, you know, eventually your line's going to collapse, and that's exactly what happened there. And he unfortunately collapsed underneath a very large man.
Loss of 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 13. Clock running. It appears as if the Spirit content to just go to the halftime break with a 6-0 lead. They are going to go with 4 receivers, though, as the clock continues to run. Beltran stands behind De La Paz. Oh, and another penalty. Wow. Left side of the line heard one signal. The other side of the line heard another. So that'll be another false start on the Spirit. Backing them up.
We've seen probably 4 or 5 of these already, and you know, these are the simplest of penalties that you can get rid of.
That'll momentarily stop the clock with 18 seconds left. Spirit will have a 3rd and 18 facing them.
18 seconds to go in the first half. Santa Cruz leads 6-0 right now.
Probably the wise thing here is to just let it run out. Don't want a turnover that can be returned for a touchdown.
You know, I would definitely go into halftime with this lead, not take any chances here. And it looks like by how slowly everybody's moving out there, that's exactly what they're thinking.
Yeah, clock started again when they put the ball down, so they're not even going to bother to snap it here. Halftime has come to the SLV High Field. First half in the books. Santa Cruz Spirit in their inaugural game of their inaugural season in the Adult Football League. They take a 6-0 lead to halftime. You're watching adult football on community television of Santa Cruz. We'll be back for the second half in just a moment.
For thousands of years, sea otters have thrived off the coast of California. Scientists say these charismatic creatures hold the web of ocean life together and keep the marine ecosystem healthy for us all. But these sea otters are now facing an uncertain future. To learn why and how you can help, visit our website, saveseaotters.org.
Back for the start of the second half from the campus of San Lorenzo Valley High School. Santa Cruz Spirit leading the Hollister Barnstormers by a score of 6-0. Spirit will start the second half by kicking off. It'll be Jose Romero kicking. Back deep for Hollister, number 5, Robert Macias, number 42. That's number 49 for Hollister. He brings it up to the 40-yard line. That's Robert Chavez for Hollister. Nice return. So Hollister shut out in the first half. See what they can get going here. They've got good field position at their own 40. I'm Joel Domhoff, joined once again by Louie Walters. Donovan Lazar will return in the fourth quarter.
All right, we'll see what Hollister.
And we've got some mic difficulties here with Louie's mic. I'm not sure what's going on. Apparently you're broadcasting all over the place.
Great.
We'll see if we can fix it here. Keeper that time by Rios. He swings to the right side, picks up about 5 yards. So positive gain there for Hollister to open the second half. They didn't have much going in the first half as the Spirit defense dominated. But 5 yards that time. So it'll be 2nd and 5. Actually, we'll call it 2nd and 6. They mark it just short of the 45. So,
yeah, I think if they keep bringing the heat on this quarterback, they might get another interception or definitely a fumble recovery. He's been running for his life the whole first half.
I formation for Hollister. Rios looks to make a quick pass. Everyone's covered. Now he doesn't know what to do. He shovels it forward, complete, but it'll be no gain. In fact, they'll lose a couple yards. As number 54, Jeff Nevinger, and number 55, Maurice Lee.
Yeah, that was great defensive coverage by the Spirit. He had looked at 2 or 3 reads, and they were all covered, and I started panicking a little bit, and he kind of flipped the ball to his buddy and said, "You take it." And the Spirit collapsed, and it was a great defensive stand right there.
Loss of a yard on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 7. Hollister goes 2 wide receivers, 2 backs behind Rios. Spirit show a 4-man front. Rios, quick pass over the middle. No one there, though. Incomplete, intended receiver, number 88.
Yeah, what I think he did on that play is Coach Clark been blitzing his linebackers pretty consistently on 3rd down, and what he was hoping was Coach Clark would blitz him, and then he'd be able to dump off to the tight end real quick. Well, Coach didn't blitz on that, and the guy was covered. Good
Brian
call.
Cortez, the intended receiver for Hollister. Overthrown, as I said, by Rios, so 3 and out for Hollister. Back to punt for the Barnstormers is number 42, Michael Reyes. Back deep for the Spirit, the man who made the first ever interception for the Spirit in the first half, defensive back Dave Adams. Adams will have a chance to return it. No, it goes over his head. Booming punt by Reyes and gets a better bounce all the way down inside the 5-yard line. Great punt by Michael Reyes. So the Spirit defense holds, but their offense will open at their own 3.
Yeah, what Coach Clark's got to do right here is get the ball moving down the field a little bit. Maybe some quick hitters up the middle, quick slant or something. Get away from that end zone for the other team.
Well, if he's smart, Louie, he'll go to Rich Bourgeon, although I see Bourgeon walking off the field. The dominant player in the first half for the Spirit.
Oh, he was a great job in the first half. He's a player.
Instead, it'll be Anastasio Beltran to start for the Spirit, again behind quarterback Ricardo De La Paz. And as we saw throughout the first half, 3 wide receiver set. Santa Cruz ball, their own 4. De La Paz with the keeper up the middle trying to get some room. He falls forward for about 3 yards, so that'll give them a little more room. We'll bring up a 2nd and 7.
Yeah, that was a good call. Spread that defense out with this 4 wide receiver set. Get the quarterback to look for a bubble and just get out there. I've seen a lot of times that play has gone for 90 yards just on keeping everybody spread out.
And the Mack truck, Rich Bourgeon, comes back into the game. So on 2nd and 7, we'll see what the Spirit do with him. As we said, virtually unstoppable in the first half was Bourgeon. Scored the Spirit's first touchdown from a yard out. We'll see if he's got the same thing going for him here in the second half. Give is to Bourgeon. Falls forward. He was tripped up that time. Good defense by Hollister. He was able to fall forward for a couple of yards, though, and it'll be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, I don't know if they had commented on it earlier, but that Bourgeon was a defensive lineman up until last week. And I guess they seen him carry the ball one day at practice, and they said, now you're our fullback. And he definitely looks like, what'd you call him, the truck?
Mack truck. We compared him to John Riggins because of his uniform number and
I like
his
it.
style of running. And
he plays hard, definitely.
3rd and 5 now. Beltran back into the backfield for the Spirit. 4 wide receivers. His tight end, Robert Harrington, takes the right slot.
Needs to be
De
careful
La Paz,
there.
quick pass. It's a screen for Alejandra. Avoids one tackler, but can avoid a second. As that's number 5, the man who was everywhere, Robert Macias for Hollister in the first half. He made a big hit, and he was helped by number 32.
Yeah, that was a safe play, Get the ball upfield as quick as you can. The big thing right now is on this punt. They need to count and make sure they got 11 on there and make sure it doesn't get blocked and get a nice high punt so the coverage guys can get down there and make a tackle.
And we apologize to number 32 for Hollister. He's another one of those unfortunate few who's on this roster without a number, at least the one we were given by Jim Clark. So one of those little kinks that we'll have to work out here in the Adult Football League. And but he did make the play, number 32 for Hollister, forcing the punt. And Romero in his own end zone for the Spirit. So he's just got to get it off quickly here. They come for the block, but he does get it off. Almost hits a Spirit player, but Hollister will let it bounce. It'll roll out to the 45-yard line. So good job by Romero just to get that kick out of the end zone, as Hollister did bring a rush. And Hollister will have the ball in good field position, Santa Cruz's 45-yard line. So we'll see if Juan Rios and the offense can get something going as they trail 6-0.
Yeah, that was a great punt there, Joel. I mean, he had the rush coming hard, and it was an okay snap, but for him to get it off and get it down to the 45, that's a great, great punt.
As we said at the top, a small but loud crowd here at SLV. Cheering these teams on. Give up the middle as a flag comes flying in, usually in the direction of holding. Give that time was to the fullback, Michael Reyes. But we'll check the penalty. I'm assuming it's a hold on Hollister. And it is, so they'll back up 10 yards. Again, we talked about it in the first half. Penalties really hurt both teams. But Hollister here in the second half, not how they wanted to open. They had good field position, 1st and 10, and just like that, they're back on their own side of the ball, and it'll be 2nd and long, or actually 1st and long, sorry. They'll replay the down.
Yeah, we've seen those penalties coming out today, huh, Joel?
And I'm not sure why it wasn't I guess they call it from the spot, so it's really about 1st and 18 from the 46. I formation for Hollister behind Rios. 5-man front for the Spirit. Pump fake. Rios, he's got time. He's drilled. Fumble. Ball loose. Picked up again by the Spirit. Just as we saw in the first half, they force a turnover. Ball recovered by number 23. That's Dave Phillips, the defensive back. All kinds of Spirit in there to force that fumble. Number 8, Damon Hansen was in on it. Lamar Brooks, Shea Ackerley, That time, I think Louie Rios just held on to it too long, and it cost him a turnover.
That was great coverage by the two DBs. What the receivers did is a pattern we call a hitch and go, where they go about 5 yards and stop, and he pump fakes, and then they take off. Well, the DBs didn't bite, and it turned out to be a great play for the Spirit, and they got the ball back.
Spirit ball at the Hollister 44, 1st and 10, inside 10 minutes to go, third quarter. Give to Bourgeon. He goes right side, avoids one, collides with a second, refuses to go down even though he goes out of bounds. Big collision there between Bourgeon and Robert Macias, the most active Hollister defender. Bourgeon picked up about 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. And I'll tell you what, if the way this defense is playing, Louie, if the Spirit score here, the game could be over.
Yeah, I think if the Spirit puts one more touchdown, I don't know if Hollister has the firepower, and I don't know if Santa Cruz Spirit's D is going to let him score 2 more times in this game. But football's a crazy sport. Anything could happen.
We'll give Bourgeon 6 yards on that play, 2nd and 4. He remains in the game behind De La Paz. 3 wide receiver set. Again, it's Bourgeon up the middle. Oh, and he got a good hit that time delivered on him by number 11, George Ford, but not before picking up the first down. So the Bourgeon truck rolls on as he kind of hobbles towards the sideline, but not before picking up a first down. The ball is placed at the Hollister 31. 1st and 10, Spirit.
Yeah, that was a great run. I think he might just have a little bit of a stinger. No, he looks like he has a cramp.
Looks like a calf cramp. They're working out on Bourgeon on the sideline. Shouldn't keep him out long.
No, he's a stud.
Anastasio Beltran replaces him in the backfield behind De La Paz. Harrington, the tight end, comes wide, so they're back to the 4-receiver set. De La Paz, play action pass, goes right side, underthrows his intended receiver, Danny Alejandrez, who was double teamed, so probably best for Alejandrez's health that the ball was underthrown, otherwise he would have been drilled. 2nd and 10, Spirit.
Yeah, he was definitely covered, and it looked to me like he went to throw it, and then he said, oh no, I shouldn't throw that, and he kind of threw that into the dirt.
Well, Bourgeon is up off the field. He's no longer stretching, but he will remain on the sideline on this play.
Yeah, they need to get him back in. He was definitely the heart and soul of that offense in the first half. That and the line for open those holes for him. You know and I know the line's the key.
We should mention that line. Amongst them is Joe Stuchula out of Illinois. Number 52, number 70, Brian Howard. As De La Paz is going to go down and take a big loss. Sack for Hollister that time. Made by number 77. That's Theo Stillwell. And that'll be a big loss for the Spirit all the way back to the 44. And it'll be 2nd and a bunch.
Yeah, back to that line, Joel. You know and I know that's the key to any team, no matter what level you're playing, is you're only going to be as good as your line. And the line is the heart and soul of any team you play on. And I try and stress that to my kids. The linemen want to feel sorry for themselves. They don't get all the press, but the lineman is what wins games. The lineman is what wins championships. And for me, the linemen are the most valuable players on any team.
And I want to correct myself. That was 2nd down, so this is now 3rd and about 25 for the Spirit. So don't know what play Jim Clark has for this situation, but we're about to find out. 5 receiver set. Screen to Beltran. Hollister reads it, and they force the fumble. Ball on the ground. It appeared as if Hollister recovered it, and they did. Number 11 for the Barnstormers makes the play. That's George Ford, the linebacker. So a big turnover forced there by Hollister. Keeps the game close. With 7:20 to go, they've got excellent field position. 1st and 10 at their own 45.
Yeah, that was a good call. The screen is a great call on 3rd and long. Just one guy slipped in and messed it up.
I formation now for the quarterback, Rios. He keeps it on the right side sweep, goes nowhere. In fact, he's drilled once again loses yardage on the play. Amongst those on the hit that time, Damon Hansen, Will Lenzner, and number 44, Rich Bourgeon. Of course, who else?
Yeah, it looked like Joel, he was doing a little option to the right, and the Spirit played that perfect. The outside linebacker had pitch man, and the inside linebacker and the tackle had quarterback, and he had nowhere to go and no one to pitch the ball to.
Loss of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11 for Rios. Ball at his own 43-yard line. Split back formation now for Hollister. 2 receivers split wide. Sweep left side, cut back, nowhere to go again. The Spirit defense is just manhandling this offensive line. Once again, that's number 44, Rich Bourgeon. He's everywhere today, folks. He stuffed the run initially. Got some help later from Maurice Lee.
What a great defensive play, guys. Good job, Santa Cruz Spirit.
And Shea Ackerley in on that tackle as well. Now they've got a 3rd and 15 as Hollister just continues to go backwards. 3rd and 15 from their own 40-yard line. Give up the middle. Again, virtually no room there. Number 55, Maurice Lee, got some help from Jeff Nevinger and Shea Ackerley to stuff the run that time. And the Hollister team better come up with some new plays, because what they're using now sure isn't working.
Either that or the Spirit knows what they're going to do on every play, because it seems like the Spirit D is all over the place.
Alan Gamble, the runner that time for Hollister. He did pick up a couple of yards. We'll give him 3 on the play, so it's about 4th and 12. Hollister back to punt. Once again, it's Dave Adams deep for the Spirit. Punter is Michael Reyes as we approach 5 minutes to go in a fast-moving 3rd quarter. Reyes just gets the punt off under some pressure. Adams will try and return, but he fumbles. Ball loose on the ground, recovered by Hollister. Big turnover there. Number 22 making the recovery for the Barnstormers.
Yeah, I think what happened on that one is he took his eye off the ball. He seen the defenders coming, and I think if he wanted to do it again, he probably would have just fair catch that thing, get the ball, take it where it's at, and get the offense going.
Ryan Mead making the recovery for Hollister, so big break here. Turn of events. Inside 5 minutes to go. Suddenly Hollister has the ball inside the Santa Cruz 20-yard line, 1st and 10, off the turnover. Generally, Louie, you see this off a turnover, your first play, you go for the bomb.
I go end zone every time. I shouldn't say that.
Pitch left side, that's number 4 for Hollister. He's got room, step cuts back, gets inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. That'll set up a 1st and goal, and we'll have a penalty besides.
Like on Hollister.
I think it was on Santa Cruz, Louie. Actually, number 4 for Hollister is Reginald Sibley. He made that great run, got up and exchanged words with Dave Adams, and I thought I saw Adams kind of throw a punch there. And I think it's a first, well, either way, it's a 1st down.
Right.
But it could be a half the distance, so 1st and goal from the 6 could now be 1st and goal from the 3.
Well, I seen a flag come from the back, too, so it might be offsetting 2 personal fouls. Yep.
From the end of the run. The next penalty will be 15 yards, and it will be a 1st down and goal from that point.
Well, Santa Cruz made off on that one. Basically what he's saying is 1st and goal. They go half the distance of the goal from the spot of the POW, which would be the Santa Cruz penalty. And then they take it from there and move it 15 yards back for the Hollister penalty, if that's what it...
That's right, Louie. And so it's going to be 1st and goal from the 18.
Right.
So that is a break for the Spirit, because the play brought it to the 6. So tough break for Hollister here, as they got a great run from Reginald Sibley.
Yeah, so what they did was, to clarify that, like Joel said, the run went to the 6. Then the first penalty was on Santa Cruz. So there was a personal foul, a 15-yard penalty, but since you're inside the 15, they go half the distance. So then you went to the 3, and then the penalty happened after that from Hollister, and that was a 15-yarder, so you went back 15. So like you said, you're on the 18.
And it's 1st and goal. It's not 1st and 10, so they've got really just 4 shots to score. So, as we said, tough break for Hollister. Timeout on the field, 4.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Spirit holding on to a 6-0 lead here. Community TV proud to bring you this first ever game of the Santa Cruz Spirit as part of the Adult Football League.
And I think there'll be more games to come. I'm not really sure what the TV schedule is, but I do know that they have a total of, I believe it's 4 home games at SLV. I don't know if Joel had talked about it. There's 9 teams in the league, and they have a playoff at the end of the league. The teams that are in the league is the 49ers of Redwood City, the Alameda County Knights, the Hollister Brainstormers, the Sacramento Grizzlies, the San Jose Jaguars, Santa Cruz Spirit, the Solano Chiefs, and the South Bay Bucks, and the TC Wildfire. And obviously by the names of these teams and the towns they are, it is a little spread out.
Okay, game receiving, we're at 1st and goal from about the 17-yard line.
Out of the timeout now, Hollister with the ball, 1st and goal at the, we're going to call it the 17-yard line. 1st and goal. Give us to the up back. That's number 49 for Hollister. Robert Chavez, he gets stuffed for no gain. The man out there outside, number 8, Damon Hansen, making the play for the Spirit, so it'll be 2nd and goal. Clock winds towards 4 minutes to go.
Well, games we have today for this USAFF League, we have Sacramento Grizzlies versus San Jose Jaguars. We have the Solano Chiefs versus the Alameda County Knights. Obviously, the Hollister Brainstormers are here playing the Santa Cruz Spirit. The South Bay Bucks are playing the 49ers of Redwood City. And that's this week's games.
2nd and goal now for Hollister. Split backs behind Rios as they lost a yard, so now it is at the 18. Rios under pressure. One-armed sack. Oh my, a beautiful play by Damon Hansen. While still being blocked, he drags down the quarterback, Rios. Exceptional play, and that'll set up 3rd and goal from the 27. Loss of 9 yards on the play. Perhaps the defensive play of the game we just saw right there.
That was a great play. I remember when he played at high school, he was a all-out stud. And I guess he's back here for the motto of this USAFF, for the love of the game.
6'4", 275 is Damon Hansen out of Aptos, California. And he showed impressive speed and power there, getting by his defender and pulling down the quarterback. 3rd and a ton for Hollister. Rios back to pass. He's looking deep. He's got a man out there. That's number 3. Oh, and a big hit by Dave Adams. But not before Byron Byers catches it at the 2-yard line. So it'll be 4th and goal. They're actually going to mark it at the 1. So despite Adams's celebration, they just gave up 22 yards, Louie, and now it's 4th and goal at the 1.
Yeah, that was a great play by the quarterback. He had the pressure as usual all day. Santa Cruz Spirit D-line and linebackers have been bringing it, and he hung in there and he lofted it up there, and that receiver made a great catch, and the DB put a heck of a hit on him. But like you said, it's on the 1, and what are you going to do?
Byron Byers, backpedaling that time, was able to maintain his balance just long enough to catch it. Turn and quick quarterback sneak. They wait for the signal from the official.
I think he got
Touchdown! The keeper by Juan Rios, the quarterback of Hollister, ties this game up at 6. So with 2:15 to go in the 3rd quarter, we have a tie game. And really, we mentioned the great catch by Byers, but really the best part of his catch was hanging on to it after taking that big hit. And he set up his quarterback, Rios, for the quarterback sneak. And now that missed PAT that the Spirit had in the second quarter could come back to haunt them now as Michael Reyes attempts to give Hollister a lead with the PAT. Snap was good, but there's a penalty beforehand. We'll get this sorted out. And again, the Hollister that time on 4th and goal used a play that Santa Cruz used in the first half, which was the quick count quarterback sneak. It was just get to the line, hut, go, and they really snuck it in there on the Spirit. So penalty that time on Hollister, so now the PAT becomes a bit longer. It's now a 25-yard attempt instead of a 20-yard attempt for Reyes. Snap down, punt, blocked. Rugby scrum for the ball, but it doesn't matter. That kick never had a chance as Reyes really couldn't get it off the ground. Kick blocked, so we've got a 6-6 tie, 2:15 to go. Big break there for the Spirit.
Yeah, that was a great block in there. It seemed like everybody touched that ball, huh, Joel?
Yeah, both teams. Once it became loose on the ground, everyone scrambled for it, but as I said, it didn't matter. Kick was blocked, so the game is tied at 6. And the big 3rd and 23 completion by Hollister set up that tying touchdown, and now the Spirit back where they started in a tie game.
Yeah, this kick return is a crucial one, I think. Let the Spirit show that they're not backing down. Hollister scored a touchdown, so what? Let's get the ball and move it down the field.
Well, the man that could give them that big return is Dave Adams, and he's the one that fumbled the punt that set all of this up. So certainly he would like to get some retribution here for the Spirit. And he's also got back there with him the wide receiver, Danny Alejandrez.
He's an athlete. Both of them are athletes back there, and I'm sure you take the plus and minuses and what he does as an athlete, and the pluses outweigh the minuses. And I think right now he's probably more mad at himself for that fumble, and I know in his mind he's saying, hey, I'm going to make something happen.
So Hollister with new life in this game now. It's tied at 6, and they're back to kick it off.
Looks like Anthony Sotelo on the kick here for the Bostoners.
Anthony Sotelo will kick off for Hollister. It's another low squibber, and they're going to let it. No, it stays inbounds. Alejandrez picks it up, dances a little bit, and then gets drilled out of bounds by number 49 of Hollister. That hit by Rico Felice. So Alejandrez got about 6 yards, got his bell rung, and he's got his team set up at its own 26-yard line, 1st and 10.
What they call those squib kicks. They're not onside kicks. They're squib them. They want to kick them so the ball's spinning around, and on that one right there, everybody was saying let it go, but the ball was spinning. It could have stayed in bounds, and Hollister could have recovered it. So I really felt that he did the right thing by grabbing the ball and at least trying to get a couple yards out of it. And a lot of people do the squib kick, and it is successful because you can't get big run backs back because you're down there to cover it.
Spirit now have to be aggressive again on offense. They can't worry about the clock and first downs. They've got to put points on the board. De La Paz in a 4-receiver set. Gives to Beltran up the middle. He's got a hole. Rumbles forward for about 7 or 8 yards. Nice job by the line opening up the hole. Gets it up to the 35-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 2. And again, we'll mention that line, the guys that we didn't mention earlier. The center is Emmanuel Perez out of Soquel High School, 6 foot, 230-pounder. And he's got alongside him Eden Renero, also from Soquel High, so the Knights well represented on this offensive line. Joe Stuchula out of Illinois, he's a right tackle. And we'll give you the other names in just a moment. 2nd and 2 now. 3-receiver set as the tight end remains in. Bourgeon, the lone back. The give is to Bourgeon. Left side, breaks one tackle. Breaks a second. Falls forward. Can't quite get first down yardage. One of the hardest earned yards you'll see. I believe they'll be short, though. It'll be 3rd and 1. Clock ticks down to only 30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Fast-moving 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that looks like Hollister team is getting worn down. They're looking tired over there, and Santa Cruz Spirit still he seems to have that spirit, especially when they're playing defense.
Bourgeon and receiver Dave McLemore check out for the Spirit. Checking in, David Gagiri, seldom used offensive player. He's a safety, but he's in the offense for the Spirit, number 7. He's split wide left. The running back is Beltran, 3rd and 1. Before they can get a play off, the third quarter horn sounds. So as we said, a fast-moving third quarter, which saw Hollister come back to tie the game. We'll head to the final 15 minutes all tied up. Hollister 6, Santa Cruz 6. We'll be back for the fourth quarter in just a moment. Back for the fourth quarter here on community television. Adult Football League action. It's the Santa Cruz Spirit with the ball at their own 36-yard line. Check that. 3rd and 1. Quarterback De La Paz, no one in the backfield. He rolls out. Looking for a man. He's not open. He throws back across the field where no one is. So not the best play out of the third quarter timeout for Santa Cruz. 3rd and short. Surprising they didn't go to Bourgeon there, Louie, and just pound forward, get the yard, move the chains.
That surprised me too, because I thought that's what they would have done, and that to me was a coverage sack. Hollister did a great job of covering all the receivers. You can't blame it on the quarterback. He did the best he could. They were in his face, but like you said, I think I would have handed it to the bus. Number 44. What do you call him, Matt Truck?
Mac Truck, yeah.
Whatever
you
you
call
wanna
him
call
whatever
him.
you want.
Give
Whatever
him the
he
ball.
wants. I'm not going to call him something he doesn't want to be called.
No, he's a big fella, Joel. I
don't want to face him.
No.
He's in the game on this punt team. Maybe there's a sneak going on here. He's one of the upbacks. Punter back deep is Romero. High snap. He comes down with it, gets off a decent kick. Fair catch and fumbled by Hollister. Ball loose on the ground. The Spirit recover, but I think they're going to have a penalty, as they're going to say that the Santa Cruz Spirit didn't allow the receiver enough room to catch that punt. When you call for a fair catch, what is it, 3 yards you're supposed to give them? So
yeah, I think you're right. I think the penalty is on Santa Cruz because they didn't give them enough room to recover that punt. But they're playing aggressive. You got to tip your hat on that one. I don't think the officials know what's going on at this point, Joel.
Well, we like to remain neutral where officials are concerned, but there have been a couple instances today where they haven't really seemed to know what's going on. And, all we want is something quick and decisive instead of this mulling about that just slows the game down. The crowd gets restless. We run out of things to say.
No, you're right. And I think the players want to know what's going on. The fans want to know what's going on. But they're always right. I think what they're going to do is they're going to repunt it. And I think the penalty will go back 10 yards. And then they'll repeat 4th down and punt it, 5 yards.
It's a 5-yard penalty. So as you said, they're going to force Santa Cruz to punt again. And that certainly takes any ideas of a fake out of play here. With Bourgeon in there, you might have seen something with 4th and a yard, but now it's 4th and 6. So definitely we will see another kick here from Jose Romero. Back deep for Hollister, number 5, Robert Macias. And the running back, number 4, Reginald Sibley.
That's a good punt right there.
Macias decides to let it bounce, but Sibley doesn't. He takes it. Ill-advised, as 2 Spirit players were right there, the wide receiver, Danny Alejandrez, and the starting center, Emmanuel Perez, hustling down to make the tackle. So no gain on the return. Hollister will have the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 31. 14 and a half minutes to go in a tie game.
Yeah, that actually was a good job for the Hollister guy, If he would have let that go, that thing would have been rolled at least to the 15-yard line. And it is a risky thing, but he had a good beat on it, and he just grabbed it and curled up.
That's called taking one for the team.
Yeah, definitely, because he knew he was going to get hit.
All right, split backs now behind the quarterback, Juan Rios. Spirit with a 4-man front, but the linebackers threaten to blitz. Quick pass over the middle. Jump ball. Who comes down with it? The Spirit. Number 55, the linebacker, Maurice Lee, rips it away from the tight end.
I think the officials are looking at it.
First down, Spirit. Another turnover. Number 88, the tight end for Hollister, was Brian Cortez. He stands 6'2", but Maurice Lee, who stands 5'11", out-jumped him for the ball, pulled it away from him, and as a result, the Spirit get a turnover in Hollister territory. Cortez looked like he had it initially, Louie, and then Lee just ripped it away as they went down.
I think he didn't grab it completely. It was sitting on the top of his mitts, and then it kind of popped around, and 55 jumped up and grabbed it. That was great.
Well, we said a big play earlier was the fumbled punt for Hollister, which set up their touchdown. This could be a big play for the Spirit now as they look to regain the lead. 1st and 10 on the Hollister 43. Single back is Bourgeon. Fake to him. De La Paz keeps it. Runs right side. He gets some good yardage. Finally brought down about the 37-yard line. Gain of 5. 2nd and 5. Inside 14 minutes to go.
Yeah, that was a safe call, you know. Let the quarterback get out there a little bit, try and find his own hole, and then as soon as he sees that hole, stick it up and head upfield. I think if I was Santa Cruz, I would try and grind it out, give it to the bus. I don't see if the bus is out.
Yeah, Bourgeon out, Beltran in. They're going to try and keep Bourgeon fresh.
Beltran's a player too, and I think I wouldn't be afraid to give him the ball and let him get upfield. Looks like we have 3 wide receivers on the left and 1 split out on the right.
Tight end Harrington, as we've seen throughout this game, takes a wide receiver slot here on the left side. De La Paz, quick screen out to McLemore. He's got blockers in front. Rumbles forward to the 30-yard line. It'll be enough for a first down. So another well-designed play. Chains are moving. 1st and 10 Spirit at the Hollister 30.
Yeah, that was a good play. Those are really safe plays because the DBs are back at least 4 or 5 yards, and you're doing a quick screen, and hopefully you get in that seam and break it. But he did a good job. The quarterback made a good throw. The receiver caught it, and the blockers were definitely downfield trying to hit somebody.
One of those blockers, the tight end, Robert Harrington, 6'4", 250. So smart decision to put him out on the wing and let him manhandle a DB out there and give McLemore some room.
Yeah, he was definitely the guy who was going to block was on skates and backpedaling as quick as he can, which probably smart move on him.
Harrington now in the right slot, 4 receiver set again. And again, it's Beltran behind De La Paz. Rolling right. He's got a man wide open. It's Alejandro's. He escapes 1 tackler, then 2. First down, Spirit, 15-yard gain for Alejandres.
That was a great play. Little play action. I think that was a read on the receiver. He would either curl up if the DB stayed back, and it looks like that's what he did, and the quarterback made a great throw, and that's a good positive play right there.
Fancy footwork from Danny Alejandres, 5'7", 165 out of SoCal. He did some dancing there to avoid a couple tacklers. As a result, he got 15 yards, and the Spirit are moving the ball here. 1st and 10. And now the bus is back in. Bourgeon is in, Beltran out. 3 receivers for De La Paz. Bourgeon gets it up the middle. Met that time. Nice hit by George Ford, the linebacker, filling the hole there. Little or no gain for Bourgeon. It'll be 2nd and long.
Yeah, I think at this point right here, I would maybe try a quick slant to one of these wide receivers out here. It looks like those DBs are definitely playing off of them. Maybe some kind of play action and give that quarterback, he seems to run the ball well when he has open field, give him the option to run or pass.
Substitutions continue as Bourgeon is out. Beltran back in. And again in is David Gagiri for the Spirit, number 7. He's been playing some wide receiver in this second half. 4 receiver set again on 2nd and 9 from the Hollister 14. De La Paz fakes, rolls left, looks for a man, makes the throw, Did he get there too early, the defender? The referees are going to say no, despite the protestations of the Santa Cruz players.
Yeah, to me that looked like definitely a PI. The rule of thumb is the DB cannot go through the receiver to tip the ball, and he definitely did that on me, but maybe the referee had a better view than I did, and I'm just up here and they're down there in the heat of the thing, so obviously it was probably the right call.
Lance Goulardi, the defensive back involved in that controversial play, intended receiver that time was Gagiri, I believe, and the ball arrived right in his chest, but Santa Cruz felt the contact was made before the ball got there. So, like you said, it doesn't matter what we think. The refs have made the call. It's 3rd and 9 now.
Timeout.
And a timeout. We're not sure yet of the rules about how many timeouts these teams receive, Louie, but Santa Cruz isn't afraid to use them.
No, it just seems like that was probably the right call. There was a little bit of confusion, and I don't think they would have definitely got that play off.
And it is a big play.
Probably better. A little bit of information on the last few years. Last year, the Redwood City 49ers won the USAFF Super Bowl. They beat the Solano Chiefs. The year before, 99, was North Bay Rattlers beat the Solano Chiefs. And this year, they're going to a 6-team playoff with the first 2 teams having byes. And they will have an automatic bid into the semifinals, and I believe the championship, or the Super Bowl they call it, will be July 4th at Sequoia Field.
All right,
and
so
hopefully, they call it the Amateur Bowl, and hopefully the Santa Cruz Spirit is there.
this league, we should tell you folks, has been in existence since 1992, but this is the first year that Santa Cruz has had a team in that league, which is, of course, why we're here with Community TV and why there's so much support here with the crowd. And it's a first-time event out here at SLV, and I'm actually honestly surprised there are this many people here. It's good to see the support from the community on an Easter Saturday. So out of the timeout now, it's 3rd and 9 for the Spirit. Ball's at the Hollister 14-yard line. 4 receivers for De La Paz. Bourgeon, the lone back. Fumbled snap by De La Paz. Ball still loose. Another rugby scrum down there in that area of the field. And we'll let the refs sort it out. Hollister signaling that they have it, but that doesn't really matter until someone with stripes does it. And they do it as Hollister recovers. Big turnover there by De La Paz as he fumbled the snap, taking Santa Cruz out of a possible go-ahead field goal. Instead, the game remains tied 6-6, 10:39 to go.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Santa Cruz. It looked to me there was some confusion before the play. Coach Clark called the timeout. They had it under control. It was either some kind of center quarterback exchange. It either came up or he pulled out, and those things happen. And then the ball squirted around a little bit, and I thought Santa Cruz got it back, but one of those things where the refs make the calls and not me. And
one of those who emerged from that Hollister scrum down there was George Ford. Not sure if he recovered at number 11, but he's been in on a lot of plays here in the second half, so I'm sure he was elbowing someone to get the ball if he wasn't exactly the one getting it. Split backs now for Rios, who throws on first down. He's got a man out wide. Nice tackle by number 3 for the Spirit. That's Jamil Vaughn, the receiver for Hollister that time, number 10.
at this point, I think Santa Cruz needs to go back to what they did in that first quarter and second quarter, is just bring the heat. They don't want to play to lose. They want to play to win this game and keep bringing the pressure on defense, and I really believe that they'll get an interception or a fumble recovery if they just keep bringing those 7 and 8 guys and multiple stunts.
2nd and 4 for Hollister. We apologize to number 10. He's another one of those unfortunate few whose name and number are not on this roster. Rios looks to throw again. He goes deep. He's got a man out here. Diving attempt by number 3, Byron Byers. Ball just overthrown. On the coverage was number 4, Kelvin Nivens, but Byers was open that time, just a bit overthrown by Rios. So it'll set up a 3rd and 4 from the Hollister 20.
Yeah, this is a big down right here. I feel that if Santa Cruz could bring the heat, get a stop here, they'll be forced to punt. They should have good field position if they could stop them here.
So again, I mentioned before that last play, number 10 and number 32 for Hollister. We apologize. We have lauded your efforts here today. Unfortunately, we don't have your names. Some of these names on this Hollister roster do not have numbers, so we're doing the best we can. Movement on the line. Looked like Hollister's offensive lineman jumped on the right side, the right guard. That's certainly what the Spirit defensive line thinks happened. And they're right, so that'll back them up. Big penalty there. 3rd and 4 will become 3rd and 9 now for Hollister. Ball will be put down at the Hollister 15-yard line. So what do you do here, Louie? You're deep in your own territory. You want to get a first down, but you don't want to risk a turnover because of your precarious field position.
I would definitely do a safe play, maybe a screen. Draws are always good. Maybe some kind of bootleg where the quarterback has the option, if he's not open, run it.
Split back set behind Rios on 3rd and 9. Spirit threaten the blitz. Rios rolls right. He's dragged almost down, but he gets the pass off. Pass tip, caught by a lineman.
Yeah.
Wow, what a play. That had everything.
He did the bootleg. It looked like he wanted to do a bootleg and then throw back across his body to the guy on the other side, and the ball got tipped in the air, and then the lineman tipped it, and I think the lineman ended up catching it. But needless to say, it's 4th down, and Spirit are definitely getting the ball back.
And Louie, that doesn't happen often, so we have to make sure we get his name in there. That was number 60, Joffrey Longoria, a 6'2", 295-pound lineman who came up with that tip ball, and he raised his hands in triumph. He doesn't care that it's 4th down. He got to catch a pass.
That's a lineman's dream.
Back to receive the punt for Santa Cruz. The punt of Michael Reyes is number 2, Dave Adams, and he fumbled it again. This time Hollister gets it again. Oh, my. It's not the same guy. Check that. That's number 3, Jamil Vaughn. Was it number 1? No, it was number 3 fumbled that. Jamil Vaughn for the Spirit. Unfortunate.
You know, I think that's lack of practice and what they need to do is just really concentrate and make the fair catch and keep the ball where it's at. But hey, they'll get better.
Big play for Hollister now as they get the turnover. Ball at their own 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Fumble that time by Jamil Vaughn of the Spirit sets this up. 8:17 to go. Rios gives to the deep back. That's number 38, Shaken. He gets outside. He's going to get close to a first down. Finally falls out of bounds past midfield.
That's a great run. That's a really good run. And I think what that did was fired up Hollister, and they're excited over there.
Alan Gamble, the runner that time for the Barnstormers, and he had some shoulder shimmy working there as he worked his way outside and then turned his shoulders as he got near the first down marker, and they're going to mark him just short, gain of a 9.5, so it'll be 2nd and very short. Hollister in Santa Cruz territory as we approach the 8-minute mark. I formation now behind Rios. Reginald Sibley, the deep back. Give us to Sibley and a fumble. Ball on the ground. Who got it? The Spirit did. Number 91, Shea Ackerley picks up the fumble. So just like that, Santa Cruz gets the turnover back. Big break for Santa Cruz, inside 8 to go. 1st and 10 at midfield.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those, haven't we there, Joel? Seems like still got the first game jitters in the 4th quarter.
A couple of the fumbles, Louie, have been quarterback center exchanges. A couple of the others have been quarterback running back exchanges. So we're seeing it at either end. But either way, a nice job by Ackerley. You know, he kind of reached down for it. I was almost going to be critical of him if they didn't get it.
Right,
Not
instead
diving
of falling on it.
But he doesn't matter. He picked it up, and Santa Cruz has the ball. Beltran, the lone back behind De La Paz as the clock winds towards 7:30. De La Paz on a keeper. He's clipped quickly by, again, number 5, Robert Macias. He's been everywhere for Hollister. No gain. 2nd and 10.
Hey, regardless what the outcome of this has been great to give a lot of these guys a chance to relive dreams, and like their motto for this league is for the love of the game, and I really hats off to these guys that are playing, and something for people in Santa Cruz to be proud of, that we do have our own semi-pro team here and support them 110%, that's for sure.
De La Paz doing the smart thing now, allowing that clock to tick. He's taking extra time in the huddle. We're inside 7 minutes to go now. 2nd and 10 for the Spirit. Ball at midfield. Again, it's Beltran behind De La Paz in the 3-receiver set. Fakes the handoff, rolls right. He's got 2 men out there to defend him, though, and he smartly throws it away. Otherwise, he would have suffered a big-time loss on the play. Instead, it'll just be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, he did do the smart thing on that. You know, he could have been sacked for a good 10 to 15-yard loss. Just kind of throw it out and try and get it out of bounds. We got a 3rd and 10 right now. This is a big call right here, because if they have an incomplete or don't pick up the first down, the smart thing to do would be to punt it. Pin them down at the other end. Don't try and go for it on 4th down on the 50.
4-receiver set for De La Paz, who stands back in the shotgun. Beltran, the lone running back. De La Paz looking right side deep. He's got a man, but he overthrows him, almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of number 21, Anthony Sotelo for Hollister. Intended receiver, Danny Alejandrez. 4th and 10, and Santa Cruz will have to punt with 6.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, they definitely need to punt here. And, you know, the strength of Santa Cruz Spirit right now, and I know it's earlier in the year, is definitely their defense. You know, let their defense make something happen. Don't let the offense put them in the position where they have to go for it on 4th and 10 at the 50. And there's still a lot of time left, with 6 minutes left, that they can get the ball back in good position.
Jose Romero back to punt for the Spirit. Bit of a high snap, but he comes down with it, and a good kick. And Hollister's going to let it bounce. Ball finally downed about the 23-yard line of Hollister. So no return there for Hollister. They'll have the ball with 6:23 to go at their own 23. 1st and 10. We've mentioned Emmanuel Perez throughout this game, the starting center for the Spirit. He's also the guy that does these long snaps, and he's had 1 or 2 go short or long, but for the most part, doing a great job as the long snapper. That's not an easy job. And I now see him in there on the defensive end, so he literally probably hasn't sat out 1 play. Hollister now with a single back set, 3 receivers for Rios on 1st and 10. Looks to throw deep left side, double pumps, finally lets it go. He's got a man, ball caught, still in bounds. Falling forward is number 42, Michael Reyes, with a great catch and run. Ball in Santa Cruz territory, 1st and 10.
Yeah, that was a great play by the Hollister Brainstormers. You know, the guy was covered, and the quarterback hung in there and waited and waited and waited, and he finally just hung it up there, and it was a great catch and a short little run afterwards.
Ball put down at the 42 of Santa Cruz. 5:50 to go in the game. So Hollister looking to steal one away after being dominated for most of the first half by Santa Cruz. Suddenly they're in a tie game and looking to take the lead. Single back set, draw, that's a big run up the middle. 49 is still on his feet. He's down inside the 20 to the 15. Big run for Hollister, 1st and 10. Number 49, Robert Chavez, the man doing the running.
You know, I'm sure Coach Clark's going to watch this tape, and game 60 minutes, and I feel that Santa Cruz dominated this game for at least 50 of the minutes. What do you think, Joel?
Yeah, they were impressive up until this last quarter, really, when they had the the unfortunate turnover, which set up the tying touchdown, and now this couple of big plays here. First the bomb to Reyes, and now the big run by Chavez. So unfortunate, really, from the Santa Cruz perspective. They could be leading, and they're not, and they're actually in danger of losing.
Yeah, Coach Clark calls a timeout right now, and I think what he's doing is he's trying to regroup his defensive squad and say, hey, let's not break. We've bended a few times, and they've gotten a couple big plays on us, but they're still not in the end zone. Let's not let them in the end zone, and let's regroup and get it together, and we could stop them.
That run by Chavez got the ball down to the 18-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Hollister out of the timeout. Exactly 5.5 minutes to go. So Jim Clark makes his way back to the sideline as Hollister comes out of the timeout. Raring to go. Split back set, 2 receivers.
I hope Coach Clark, when in that huddle, he told him, let's go back to what we were doing earlier. Let's start bringing everybody.
4-man front, but the backers are up tight as well. Quick give to Chavez. He's drilled behind the line that time.
That's a great play by the defense.
Damon Hansen amongst those making that tackle.
Damon Hansen has been all over the field. Him and Ackerman have been doing a really great job on defense.
Dave Phillips also came up from the safety position to fill that hole that time. So loss of 4 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 14 from the 21-yard line. Split back set again for Hollister. 2 receivers for Rios to work with.
He's going to throw.
Clock runs inside, 5 minutes to go. Rios back to pass, steps up, looks deep right. He's got a man open. He stayed in bounds. Yes, he did.
That was
what a
great
catch by
catch.
Byron Byers.
He kind of did a little post corner route, and I think what happened was that corner just got turned around just 1 second, and he didn't see the ball in the air. And give credit to Hollister. That was a great throw and a great catch. He kind of kept both feet in. I know in high school you only need 1 foot. I'm not really sure about the semi-pro league if you need 2 feet in or not. But needless to say, he caught it and got them both in.
Football historians will recognize that play as one that Fred Bolitnikoff of the Raiders perfected. Kept the tippy toes in bounds. Perfect play by Byers. Ball marked at the 4-yard line. 1st and goal. 4:34 to go. I backs now behind Rios. Deep back is number 42, Reyes. Give is to Reyes. Off tackle, goes up the middle, spins towards the goal line. Just short of it. It'll be 2nd and goal inside the 1.
So what do you do at this point, Joel? Do you let him punch it in real quick, and or do you let him meet up to 4 minutes?
Oh, if you're Santa Cruz?
If you're Santa Cruz.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean intentionally let him score?
I don't,
Well, no,
they're
actually,
on the 1-inch line right now.
But the way things have gone and the way that defensive line has been hitting, they've forced a lot of fumbles. To this point, I wouldn't just count on anything at this point. I'd fight him to the nail, to the end, and see if you could force a turnover.
Yeah, and like you said, we've seen a few of those today, huh?
2nd and goal inside the 1. Again, it's an eye back setup behind the quarterback, Rios. Rios keeps, goes up the middle.
Touchdown.
Into the end zone for the touchdown. It took a while for the refs to signal it. Time well worth savoring for the Hollister side, though, as they take the lead. 12-6, 3:40 to go.
Yeah, that was going to happen. They were on the 1-foot line. But like you said, the defense could have caused a turnover there. They didn't. They scored. Let's stop this extra point and then regroup for offense.
Well-orchestrated drive by the quarterback, Juan Rios of Hollister. Hit a big play to Michael Reyes, and then got Chavez open for a big run, and then ended up keeping it there to score it himself to give his team a 6-point lead. And strangely, they're going for 2 here.
That's a smart thing to do, is go for 2 right here at this situation.
But if you don't and Santa Cruz scores a touchdown, they kick it and beat you. Rios on the keeper, spins and works his way into the end zone. Nice play again by Rios. So he ran it in from inside a yard for the touchdown, runs it in from 3 yards for the 2-point conversion. Just like that, it's a 14-6 Hollister lead, 3:40 to go in the game.
Well, it's a true test for Coach Clark's troops, you know. The good teams are when they're down, they suck it up and they bring it down back.
Chance for retribution for number 2, Dave Adams. One of his fumbles was key in this game to the Hollister comeback, and he'll be back deep to receive this kick for Santa Cruz. So if he can get a good run here, that would obviously help Santa Cruz here, as they need some good field position to try and tie this game.
Well, that's it. I think Santa Cruz's offensive line has done a pretty good job, and I think number 77, Eden Renero, he's done a great job at tackle. The other tackles in center, they've been holding them out, so maybe we get a passing game and move the ball down to score to win this game.
Adams actually is not the man that will be back for Santa Cruz. I stand corrected. It'll be Danny Alejandrez, number 88, and number 18, Rich Atkinson out of Santa Cruz High, the lone Cardinal on this Santa Cruz Spirit roster. So the two little guys back there for Santa Cruz. Alejandrez stands 5'7", Atkinson 5'8". Deep kick towards Alejandrez, bounces over his head. He's got to run it down though, because now he finally is going to down it in the end zone.
Yeah, that was smart.
Dangerously close to going out at like the 1 though, which would have been very disastrous from the Santa Cruz perspective. So a fortunate bounce. They'll get it at the 20. 3:31 to go.
Well, I think if I was Santa Cruz, I wouldn't panic. 3:31 is a pretty good time to march the field down, or march the ball down the field. Try and get the ball out of bounds. Pick up chunks at a time. Coach Clark looks like he's got the game plan ready. Send him troops in.
Beltran in the game at running back. Borjan sits right below us on the Santa Cruz bench. And number 7, David Gagiri, one of the wideouts into the game for the Spirit. Looks like they're going to go 3 receivers wide with the tight end on the line. Lone back Beltran. De La Paz now tries to lead a comeback for the Spirit. Give to Beltran off the left side. He's got room out to the outside. Turns it upfield. Squares his shoulders. Knocked out of bounds. Past the 40-yard line. First down, Spirit.
What a great run by Beltran. And I've said that at the beginning. I think he's a really exceptional athlete. And he just got to the outside, and he definitely put his shoulder down. And it looks like, Joel, that the bus is coming back in.
Borjan in, Beltran out. They're going to mark it just short of the 35-yard line, so I misread the yardage markers here. And after that play, timeout called by Hollister. Their coach, Dave Clapham, doesn't like what he just saw, so first down, Spirit, ball at their own 34-yard line, 3:25 to go.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting timeout. I'm not sure if I would have called a timeout for defense. At that point, you know, they're still only on the 34-yard line, and what that's doing is giving Santa Cruz a chance to rest, giving Coach Clark a chance to go out there and talk to his troops and maybe put in a couple plays. And so I'm not sure if that was the best timeout to use, but everyone's different.
We'll find out in a minute if anyone gained an advantage by this stoppage of play. 3:25 to go from the campus of San Lorenzo Valley High School. Santa Cruz Spirit, dominating most of this game, suddenly finds themselves in a hole, down 14-6 to the Hollister Barnstormers. 3:25 to go. And out of the timeout, it's a 3-receiver set. Borjan, the lone back behind De La Paz. Gives to Borjan on the right side. Tries to get outside and does. Turns, breaks the tackle, turns his way upfield. Looks like he got another first down for the Spirit.
It looks like he took off about 3 guys that were on the sidelines, not even in the game. The bus plowed him over, but I guess that timeout was the advantage Santa Cruz, huh, Joel?
Just like you said, Louie, it might not have been the best one to call from Hollister's perspective. Allowed Bourgeon to get even more rest. He picks up another first down. Ball now at the 48-yard line of Santa Cruz. Clock stopped because he went out of bounds, so with 3:17 to go, they got a 1st and 10. 13-yard gain for Bourgeon. Four receivers now as Harrington splits out from the tight end position. Bourgeon is in a slot back. De La Paz in the shotgun. He looks over the middle, finds Harrington wide open. Nice tackle, though, by number 8 of Hollister, bringing down the tight end, not allowing him to advance. Slade Williams on the tackle.
You know, Hollister's in their prevent defense, and generally speaking, when you're in prevent defense, the middle of the field is usually wide open. And it showed on that. They converged on him pretty quick. But it looks like, is this Harrington coming out of the ball game? He's a big target, and he looks like he's limping a little bit.
Yeah, and Jamil Vaughn comes in to replace him. So size replaced by quickness. Perhaps we'll see a reverse or something like that with the speedy Vaughn in. Harrington trying to walk it off here as he just picked up 7 yards.
Jamil Vaughn is a great athlete, and I know that if they get the ball in his hand, he's going to want to make up for that lost punt return, and like you said, he does have speed.
2nd and short, inside Hollister territory. Bourgeon off the left side, cuts it back, squares his shoulder, spins his way past the 45 to about the 44. He'll be just shy of a first down, about 2 yards shy. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 2. And we're now inside 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was reading the rules, and there is a 2-minute warning in the USAFF Football League. And
as the founder of that USAFF, Jim Clark, was just screaming at the refs, hey, where's the 2-minute warning? So you're right, Louie. The refs made an error there, and they'll have to put 5 seconds back on the board.
He made the rule, so he should know that it is a 2-minute warning, and actually that rule paid off.
And the ref over trying to explain to Jim what happened, but there should be no explanation. The play was dead.
Right.
The clock was running. The ball was down, put down at the 45, and they just continued to let the clock run. And Coach Clark was screaming to stop it at 2 minutes.
Well, he should know. He's probably telling the refs, hey, listen, I'm the founder of this league. I don't want any special treatment, but made the bylaws of the rules, and the rules say at 2 minutes we stop the clock. So it's pretty common sense on that one.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most basic of calls. So they're now telling the scoreboard operator to add 5 seconds to the clock here. And
you hear that over there?
that's a big mistake by the referees here. But we'll cut them some slack. We'll cut them some slack.
They're doing a fine job.
You've learned the art of coaching, and that is to politic the referees whenever possible.
I never win with them.
Well, either way, it's 2 minutes to go. Ball is at the Hollister 45-yard line. 3rd and 2 for Santa Cruz. Obviously, it's 2 down territories. They trail 14-6 here. And off the 2-minute warning now, we'll see what they decide to do to get this first down. They're going to have De La Paz in the shotgun. Beltran in a slot position, 4-receiver set. De La Paz out of the shotgun, looks across the middle. Harrington, ball knocked away by number 32, one of the unknowns on Hollister's team, but he made himself known to Santa Cruz there as he knocked it away. So now this is the game right here, folks. 4th and 2. If they don't get 2 yards, the game's over.
Definitely. Coach Clark probably going to pull out something out of his hat. He's scratching his hat right now. And like Joel said, this is the game. 4th and 2 or 3 with a minute and 55 seconds left.
Perhaps, Louie, that controversy with the 2-minute warning distracted Coach Clark, because again, I don't know why you don't go to Bourgeon. You had 3rd and short. Give it to the horse.
I agree.
And Bourgeon, as we speak, is on the sideline, as he has been the last 2 plays, so that could really haunt him if they don't convert here.
I agree.
Beltran, the lone back. Play action pass. De La Paz. He's going for it all here. He's got Vaughn out front. Vaughn with the dive. No!
Oh.
They're going to give it to him.
Touchdown!
They're going to give it to him. Jamil Vaughn with a diving catch. Ball came loose, but they're going to say the ground caused it. Touchdown, Spirit. 14-12 your score.
Well, listen, they just scored that touchdown. They can't celebrate now. They still need to get this extra point. What a great play. I'm not something I would probably call. I don't think I would have called a bomb on 4th and 2. But, hey, Coach Clark's been doing this league since 1992. He's the founder, and he definitely made the right call, and that was a great throw and a great catch. To me, it looked like the ball had skipped out of his hands, but the ref was, like I said, he always knows right, and he was right there.
What a throw by De La Paz, as you said, and as good as the throw was, the catch was even better. Full extension by Jamil Vaughn, 5'11", 175 out of Harbor High School. What a play. If we had a replay of it, I'm sure we'd see, or at least according to the refs, the ground caused the fumble there, so he must have come up with it and then just landed and it scored it away. But like we've been saying all day, the only people that matter are the refs, so it's a touchdown. Well, and now, Louie, what do you do out of this time? They've called timeout here. You still need a two-pointer to tie.
Well, you know, like we said a couple minutes ago when Jamal went in for, what was it, the other big tight end? Harrington, and we kind of said, you know, speed does change things, and that showed on that one, and that was a awesome athletic play on there. As far as the extra point right here, you know, there's a number of plays. Obviously, you want to do your bread and butter play, the play that you work on the most in practice in these situations where you feel most comfortable and the people that are involved in it feel the most comfortable running it. I'm thinking maybe some kind of play action where the quarterback has an option of throwing the ball or running.
A rollout?
Yeah, maybe some kind of dragging across the field, misdirection where you're getting everybody go one way and then you having a guy come underneath it. But it'll be interesting to see what he does. Like you said, I don't know how many timeouts are in this league, but it seems like there's been quite a bit.
It almost seems like it's unlimited.
Yeah.
But for those that aren't familiar with how this works, the ball's placed at the 3-yard line. So Santa Cruz has one play to try and gain 3 yards and get it across the goal line to tie this game. They trailed 14-6 until Jamel Vaughn made a spectacular catch. It's now 14-12, and here's the ball game right here. De La Paz has Beltran behind him. They go 3 receivers with Harrington in the tight end slot to block. Again, Bourgeon on the sideline. De La Paz in the shotgun, and here we go. Rolls right. Looks back to his left. He's got a man open. It's caught. It's caught.
Tackle eligible. That's what it was.
Lineman eligible play, number 52, Joe Stachula made the catch. He almost looked like he was just waiting forever for that ball to come into his arms. He didn't go and get it, and it almost cost him as the Hollister guy got there, but just a split second too late. And we've got a tie game, 14-14, 1:47 to go.
Yeah, you know, at this point, I don't know what Coach Clark, if you're going to go for the onside kick or you're going to kick it deep. It looks like there is some confusion. Coach Clark and the referee are having their discussion, but remember, you're dealing with the founder. And like you said, linemen don't usually get those catches, and it definitely looks like there's some discussion, and there might even be a penalty that it was an illegal receiver downfield. I know in high school ball you have to check in. College ball you have to check in, and what that means is you have to tell the official that number 57 or whatever the lineman
number
is,
52 in this case,
is an eligible receiver, and at that point the official has to announce it to the other team.
Well, number 9 of Hollister, Sam Lopez, the linebacker, he was trading words there with Coach Jim Clark, and we're going to get an announcement as to whether he was in fact eligible here. Coach Clark still talking to the referee, so. And Coach Jim Clark gives the signal. They finally sorted it out, and rather one of the officials giving the signal, Coach Clark gives it. The two-pointer is good. So now we are at a 14-14 game, 1:47 to go. And Hollister's going to have to try and pull something out. Back to receive the kick for the Barnstormers. Number 5, Robert Macias. He's been all over the field today. Also number 42, Michael Reyes. And number 4, their running back, Reginald Sibley. So 3 backs deep for Hollister here. Doing the kicking for Santa Cruz will be Jose Romero, as he's done all day. Ball placed at the 35-yard line, so Hollister with 5 men up front. They're not thinking onside kick because they all appear to be bigger linemen with taped hands. Not the kind of hands guys you would want out there, and Romero does kick it deep, very deep. Macias juggles and catches it at the 10, brings it upfield to the 20, past the 25, 30, cuts back, 35, stumbles ahead, past the 40-yard line to the 43. So just what Hollister needed, a big return from Robert Macias. 1:36 to go. They've got the ball at their own 43-yard line.
That was a great run back. I tell you what, I think Hollister was down in the dumps on that ruling, and they didn't know if it was the right ruling, but obviously Coach Clark gave us the signal as he walked off the field that it was good. I think if I was Santa Cruz Spirit, I wouldn't lay back and play prevent. I would start bringing the guys every time again.
Quarterback Juan Rios for Hollister surveys the Spirit defense. He led a great drive to put the Hollister team ahead. Handoff now right side. That's number 38. He turns upfield, out of bounds. He steps inside Santa Cruz territory at the 43-yard line. First down, Hollister. That great run was by Alan Gamble, 5'8", 170.
Santa Cruz is on their heels again. I think they definitely need to keep that intensity up.
Clock stops as he stepped out of bounds. 1:19 to go now. It'll be 1st and 10 Hollister. We'll see where they spot the ball. The Santa Cruz 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Hollister quickly out of the huddle now. 2 receiver set with an I formation. 4-man front for the Spirit. Rios with a quick slant pattern. He's got his man open. That's number 3, Byron Byers. Close to another first down. Well-designed play. Perfect throw from Rios. And as we come up on a minute left, that's a gain of 8. 2nd and 2 at the Santa Cruz 35.
I think a couple more first downs and they might be in field goal.
Late substitution for Hollister. I guess that's legal. Number 4, Reginald Sibley now the I-back, inside a minute to go. Give us to Sibley up the middle. Spins and then he's drilled. Looks like he got the first down, but he was finally met by Lamar Brooks. Timeout now on the field with 40 seconds to go. And they're going to give him the first down.
I think he got the first down.
Well, I was talking earlier with Donovan about we're not sure about some of the rules. Apparently they don't stop the clock for first downs. So Hollister forced to call a timeout here. College, when you get a first down, they stop the clock to move the chains and then spot it, but that's not the case here. So Hollister forced to use a timeout. 40 seconds to go. They've got the ball 1st and 10 at the Spirit 33-yard line. We haven't seen their kicker yet today, Louie, so we've seen Romero's range for the Spirit, but if they've got a guy over there that can boom one, they're not that far from being in game-winning field goal position.
No, not at all. I think if I was the Santa Cruz Spirit, I'd watch out for that post-corner pattern that you called the Freddie Blitnikoff. Keep your feet in because they have single coverage out here on the sides, and that could be a dangerous play for the Spirit and a big play for Hollister. I haven't seen the kicker for Hollister. I know on kickoffs they've been, like we talked about, squibbing it. They really haven't booted it. So.
And no one is officially listed as a kicker on their roster, so it'll obviously be someone who plays another position as well. But either way, Hollister with the momentum now as they've driven it into the Santa Cruz territory. Ball in the 33. I-backs behind quarterback Rios. Quick slant, no, he pump fakes. Rios looks to run outside, but he's chased down. Fumble! 44, Bourgeon chased him down, forced the fumble. Ball recovered, though, by Hollister. After a loss, though, that's a big play either way for the Spirit defense.
Yeah, that was a good play on the bus.
And some people wondering why the clock stopped there. It was momentarily stopped at 32 seconds. Now it's winding. 25 seconds now and counting. So perhaps Hollister content here to go to overtime, or they don't know the clock. Perhaps they're out of timeouts. We don't know that ruling either. But they're quickly to the line now with 12 seconds. Rios, he's going to look to go deep. Pump fake, steps up. He's drilled as he throws. Pass almost intercepted. Tough play there for the Spirit. Dave Adams and Maurice Lee both had a look at it. Adams, the quicker player, had a better look at it. Perhaps could have gone for a longer return. Either way, it's an incomplete pass. Third down. Hollister now calls timeout mysteriously. Why wouldn't they have used that one, Louie, with 30 seconds to go instead of 3 seconds to go?
I don't know. It's probably like golf. You buy a mulligan. I don't know what the deal is, but they keep coming up with these timeouts and no timeouts.
Well, the play previous to this one lost 5 yards for Hollister, so they're now looking at a 3rd and 15 from the Santa Cruz 37-yard line with 3 seconds to go. So it's basically a Hail Mary unless they've got a guy that can kick it 55 yards. Perhaps they do, but stranger things have happened. But in all likelihood, we'll see a Hail Mary here, a bomb in the end zone. And we've seen quite a few of those on this field. Certainly SLV fans can remember all those Hail Marys that they've completed in the last couple of years to win some great games up here.
Yeah, there's been a lot of games won on these fields right here, and a lot of great pass completions, and should be interesting. I know that I kind of was looking over these bylaws, and they do an overtime, and it's like a high school overtime where they give you a set amount of plays from the 20-yard line and see how many times you could score.
Well, that could all be rendered moot here. Oh, they're going to go for the field goal.
I'd watch the fake.
54-yard, 53 we'll call it. 53-yard attempt. Let's get the number on this gentleman. Number 7 for Hollister. That's Eric Snyder. And there's a deep kick, but nowhere near. That'll end regulation time with the score. Hollister 14, Santa Cruz 14. We're heading to overtime. We'll be back for overtime in just a moment. We're back at the San Lorenzo Valley High School field where it's overtime. Santa Cruz and Hollister tied at 14 in the first ever game for the Santa Cruz Spirit of the Adult Football League. Community Television glad to present this game for you, and of course, appropriately enough, we're going overtime for it. This is how it works, folks. The ball is placed at the 25-yard line. Each team gets one offensive possession. Either they get a field goal, they get a touchdown, or they turn it over on downs. Then the other team gets it at the 25. They go through the same thing. If each team kicks a field goal, we go double overtime. Each team scores a touchdown, double overtime. One team scores more than the other, and the game's over. So Hollister gets it first. They've got the ball 1st and 10 at the Santa Cruz 25. Quarterback Juan Rios running the offense for Hollister in a single back set. Rios looks to pass. He's going deep on the first play. He's got Reyes out there, incomplete. Slightly overthrown. Double coverage that time by Dave Adams and Jamil Vaughn. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for Hollister.
Yeah, I think I would have gone to the single receiver. You had this free safety over on that far side and the corner, and you had a one-on-one matchup over here, and that's probably the side I would have gone to, but...
Well, Louie, this was a game that Santa Cruz dominated for the first 3 quarters, didn't have much to show for it. Suddenly, Hollister's offense came alive, took the lead. Santa Cruz made a miraculous catch and 2-point conversion to tie it. And now, as the game started with dominant defense, they'll need to repeat that performance here. Draw play up the middle. Gang tackled that time was number 49, Robert Chavez. He got a few yards. That'll set up a 3rd and long for Hollister.
Yeah, you're right. You know, Santa Cruz High fellas dominated this game from the get-go, and to come out in the regulation with the score tied, that's pretty amazing. I'm sure Coach Clark will be shaking his head and scratching his head and when they watch the film on Monday or whenever they watch it.
And they took a miraculous drive just to force overtime. They were really in danger of losing this game, as you said, that they've really dominated. 3rd and 6 now, ball at the 20-yard line for Hollister. We'll call it the 21, actually. Split backs now behind Rios on 3rd down. Handoff left side, sweep, but it's cut off by number 8, Damon Hansen. Great open field tackle by the Spirit defensive lineman.
That was a great play. He came up and made the hit. Now this is a big down right here for Hollister, and it looks like they're sending in that field goal team again, Joel.
Alan Gamble, the man thrown for that loss by Hansen that time.
It looks like they're sending in the field goal team again.
So it's 4th and about 8 now. Ball at the 23-yard line. This will be a 40-yard attempt. And the kicker on the last attempt by Hollister was the quarterback, Rios. And it appears as if he's going to try it again. This time, obviously, it's much shorter. We're actually going to call it a 39-yard attempt. So we'll see if he can convert here and give his team a temporary lead in overtime. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is well short. No good. So now Santa Cruz can win it right here in overtime with a score on their possession. They'll get the ball now at the 25-yard line. A field goal will win it. A touchdown.
There's a penalty. And I think if I was Santa Cruz, I'd give the ball to the bus and let him get rumble down there. Wouldn't take any chances of throwing to the end zone right now.
The bus he refers to is Rich Bourgeon, who dominated much of the first half for Santa Cruz and mysteriously didn't get the ball as much in the second half as we thought he would. But Santa Cruz now with offensive possession will keep it on this end of the field. They'll have the ball. 1st and 10 at the 25.
Now, there's a penalty, and they're discussing that. I'll tell you what, this has to be one of the longer games I've been to in a long time. If you take in consideration that an NFL game is 3 hours long max. And I think we're going on 3.5 hours there, Coach Joel.
We've talked about throughout this broadcast, Louie, the mistakes that have been made by the players because it may be first game jitters. Perhaps we're seeing that from the officials as well because there have been a couple cases where they could have sped the game along. But either way, we're ready to go now. 1st and 10 for Santa Cruz. Bourgeon is in the backfield behind De La Paz in the 3-receiver set. Alejandrez right side, Torres and Gagiri left side. Oh, and another false start penalty. Right side of the line jumping for Santa Cruz. So now it'll be 1st and 15 at the 30.
Yeah, that's maybe that's overtime jitters there, Joel. You know what? They're having fun. That's the main thing. And it looks like everybody in the stands, their girlfriends, moms, whatever, are having a good time.
All right, so 1st and 15 now the situation. Ball at the 30-yard line. They still have the 3 receivers. They still have Bourgeon, and they still have De La Paz under center. Turnabout is fair play. Hard count that time by the quarterback. De La Paz got Hollister to jump, so we'll go back to where we started, which is 1st and 10 at the 25. We don't want it to get ugly here. We don't want it to be decided by a fluke or a bad penalty, but so we'll hope these guys don't get sloppy here.
The other thing is, it's glad that we did this game a week after daylight savings time, huh, Joel?
Yes, there are no lights here at Cougar Field, and like you said, it's a good thing it's daylight because we're starting to see some shadows. 1st and 10 again, and now De La Paz goes shotgun. Different look this time from the Spirit. Inside handoff. No, he faked it to Bourgeon. It's a keeper. De La Paz cuts back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. 7-yard gain on 1st down. 2nd and short for Santa Cruz.
Yeah, that was a good play. Everybody was expecting the ball. A pass definitely because of the shotgun, and then when he made the fake to the bus, kind of sucked in those linebackers, and he had a chance to scramble. And it looks like we have number 32 down on the sidelines warming up.
That's Jose Romero, the man who's been doing the kicking for the Spirit all day, punting and kicking. And he could turn out to be the unlikely hero of this one, should his team get him a bit closer and set up for a game-winning field goal. 2nd and short now for Santa Cruz. Ball was actually placed at the 19-yard line. Romero, the lone, Bourgeon, the lone back. Another fake. This time De La Paz runs left side, gets outside, stumbles forward.
I think he might have got it.
Towards the 1st down marker at the 15. We'll see where the mark is. Could be a 1st down. Nope, they're going to point him down short. It'll be 3rd and 1 at the 16 for Santa Cruz.
Well, if I was Coach Clark, I think I would definitely be giving the ball to the bus at this point. I don't think I'd mess around with the pass or anything.
Well, just as you say that, they pull him and bring in Beltran, who's also done some fine work at running back. But
give it to Beltran up the middle. I wouldn't mess around with the pass or anything outside, because if you run a sweep or a toss, there's a chance you could lose yards. And at this point, you don't want to lose yards. You want to go forward.
Ball at the 16, so as you said, it's reasonably close for a field goal, but of course Santa Cruz would like to convert. Beltran, the lone back, behind De La Paz on 3rd and 1. Quick slant, out right side, it's Alejandrez. Can he get outside? Yes! Tripped up, he could have had a touchdown as no one was out there, but a great diving tackle by Robert Macias was able to clip his ankles as he was falling down. Either way, it's a 1st down. Nice quick pass by De La Paz. 1st down inside the 10. They're going to spot him at the 6-yard line. Santa Cruz looking to end this game right here. Well, if you mishandle the snap, we're talking up here, folks, about kicking a field goal right now. And if you miss, you kick it again. That could happen if you mishandle the snap, but you can't have 2 attempts at the kick. And the way they're moving the ball with Beltran and De La Paz, I say keep running it. 1st and goal at the 6. Beltran, the lone back. 3 receiver set. De La Paz fakes the handoff, looks over the middle. He's got his man Harrington. Touchdown, and the game is over.
Santa Cruz Spirit win their opening game.
Robert Harrington, the tight end, a beautiful little pattern over the middle. De La Paz found him wide open. And there's a celebration on the field as the Santa Cruz Spirit have inaugurated their season, inaugurated their existence. First ever game for this club ends in overtime, 20-14 victory. What a game. We'll be back with closing comments and perhaps a word with the coach right after this. Joel Domhoff back here with one of the stars of the game for the Santa Cruz Spirit, Rich Bourgeon. And Rich, we talked throughout the broadcast about the fact that this was your first ever game of organized football, and we were really shocked by the way you played. I mean, we never would have known it.
Absolutely. It's always been there. I always loved football. I just never had the opportunity, and now I want to get it out of my system, so I'm hungry for it.
Okay, and talk about some of those runs you made in the first half. Was there anything you saw in their defense that allowed you to run the way you ran, or was it just, it seemed pretty simple, just run and bounce off somebody and keep running?
Yeah, you know, Coach is helping me out with the reads and everything because I'm just not familiar with that. Really, really, I'm just running, and I'm just seeing where the hole is, and I'm just trying to get there.
Now, offensively, you were a star, but we were actually surprised to see you do a lot on defense as well. Talk about what you did on defense, and were you tired at any point?
Fourth quarter, I was getting tired, and I just felt like I might not be able to give 100%. But that got out of my head real quick when we needed to stop them. So
And what happened on defense, some of those big plays you made? Were you just able to were you basically just playing fill the gaps and find the ball?
Yeah, basically stack defense, read, hit the guy and read where the quarterback's going. That's basically where I got my sack and the fumble. And then the block field goal in the first half.
Okay, last question. Talk about your style of running. I talked about it during the broadcast. It almost seems like you were one of those guys that looks for contact, like you do better after you bounce off a couple guys. Is that something that you agree with, or how would you assess your running style?
Absolutely. I mean, I saw my film. I saw myself on film once, and the thing is Shay, a friend of mine that plays football, he just told me, you look for the hit and you give the hit. You don't receive it. And that's all I have in my head now.
Okay, well, we appreciate you coming by to see us afterwards. Great first game for you guys as a team, and we'll bring in the coach now, Jim Clark, but congratulations on a great game. All right, we're joined by now the winning coach here for the Santa Cruz Spirit. That, of course, is Jim Clark. And, Jim, could you have written a better script for your opening game as a Santa Cruz Spirit coach?
No, this is why my hair is gray. That's why I wear a hat. It's just every time I dye it a color, the gray just wants to come through. No, I couldn't have done it. We were really, really skittish. We just couldn't get things to generate the way we wanted to on offense. We'd have great spurts. We'd all go out and all of a sudden we'd just shoot ourselves in the foot. Our guys were really nervous. Defensively, I knew coming into the game that we had a very, very strong defense. It showed that in the first half and up into the third quarter, but since the offense doesn't stay on the field for a very long time, it causes the defense to get tired, and that's what happened. And a couple of mental errors, like I explained to them at halftime, and sure enough, that's what happened. But we were able to make things go our way.
Talk about what went through your mind there. It seemed like you dominated virtually the entire game. Suddenly they're up by 8 and you've got 3 minutes left. What was going through your mind at that point?
Where do I get a nuisance so I can hang my quarterback? I just had to get him to settle down. He ends up actually throwing a touchdown and puts us back into it, and then he ends up throwing the winning touchdown. But you have to, at this level, you have to make these players. We're not a big army. You have to make these players play and tell them you're the only one these people are going to fall back on, and you're going to have to perform.
Talk about your defense. They seemed to dominate, really forced a lot of turnovers and controlled the line of scrimmage.
I got some studs with Damon Hansen, Shea Ackerley, of course, Borjan playing there, and Lamar, who seems to be a crowd favorite. And then I'm very strong in my linebacker core with Will Lindsay, and along with Maurice Lee. And Vaughn is probably one of the most. Vaughn needs to play at a different level. He's so much better than what we are. He's that good. And then Kelvin fills in on the other side, and there's Dave Adams at the safety. So basically, we have a very strong defensive package, and the defense will keep us in the ball game if our offense can generate scores.
Okay, final question. The game-winning touchdown, what happened? Did you know that was open over the middle? How did that come about?
Basically, we knew that our tight end has had problems today catching the ball, 5 passes he's dropped and everything else. It was just putting him in a situation. We went right, we went left. We just kind of nickeled and dimed down the field, and I knew that if it took a time, it could get there, and it happened. I'm not surprised you're not asking me about the tackle eligible.
Well, that we tried to finally get explained, but basically what happened was he reported, and he doesn't have.
No, if he's on the line of scrimmage and he is in a position of a lineman, and the formation changes, which makes him eligible, there is no need to report. When he is if he goes in, reports in a skill position and or a tight end's position. Okay, he was a tackle becoming eligible. It's the oldest play in the book. I've been running it for 10 years.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about in the broadcast that you founded the league, so we figured you'd know the rules. So it worked out for you. Coach, congratulations, great job, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. As always, folks, we have people to thank in productions like this. First of all, the sponsor, Shackle Telecommunications, for donating their money and helping get this production put together. And then, of course, the crew from Community Television, starting with the director, Will Anderson, the producer, Suzanne St. John, cameras, Yamal Durier, Patrick Chose, and Craig Goldstein. Our audio man today was Dan Edler. Our PA, production assistant, and master of all the cables, Ryan Liskey. And I'd also like to thank my color man, Louie Walters, and Donovan Lazar. I'm Joel Domhoff. That's going to do it. Once again, the final score, Santa Cruz Spirit 20 in overtime, Hollister 14. turnovers would...
Golden butterflies over the land before us, or to fling them against the night, not like tears, but like stars that will guide those who follow across the darkness.
Whereas Morton Marcus is an internationally known poet who has published 7 volumes of poetry and a novel, and whose poems have appeared in prize poem annuals, more than 70 poetry anthologies, and more than 350 literary journals. And whereas Morton Marcus has been called one of the most readable and moving poets of our time by Pulitzer Prize-winning poet Charles Simic, and whereas as a teacher of English and film at Cabrillo College for 31 years, Morton Marcus has inspired and influenced countless students. Now, therefore, I, Jeff Almquist, chairperson of the Santa Cruz County Board of Supervisors, do hereby proclaim Morton Marcus as Santa Cruz County's 1999 Artist of the Year, honor him for his significant contributions to the arts and to the community of Santa Cruz County, and thank him for enriching all of our lives with his written word. Thank you very much.
The 17th season of the Game of the Week is brought to you by AT&T Broadband and KRUZ Channel 4 Sports.
Thank you, Joel and Kurt. Well, I talked to Coach Bill Garrison of Aptos High, and he said, hey, every week is a Game of the Week for the Mariners. Last week in a win against Monte Vista Christian, the Mariners set a school record, but perhaps they wish they wouldn't have. 17 penalties for 172 yards. Coach Garrison says, hey, look, we've got to clean that up if we're going to win tonight. Talk to Santa Cruz coach, Coach Faltis. Santa Cruz High has not beaten Aptos since 1993. He says, hey, we're just as good as any other team in this league. Maybe tonight will be the night. Back up to you, Jeff and Kurt. Excuse me, Kurt and Joel.
Good evening, football fans, and welcome. I'm Joel Domhoff alongside Kurt Edward. We're going to see familiarity will be the name of the game here tonight. Both these teams run similar offenses and defense.
They do indeed, Joel. They both run the fly offense. They both run a basic 50 package defense, which is 5 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 4 defensive backs. It's going to be a mirror. The only thing you're going to notice different out there, one squad's going to be in that nice cardinal red, and the other squad's going to be in the white Mariner uniforms. And if these fans are going to want to know, how to run a fly offense, here's a great school they can go to right now. And it's a very simple offense. It's a tough one to read if you've never seen it before.
It is. It involves a lot of misdirection, and we'll see that as the game unfolds. As you can see, Aptos, as Kurt mentioned, in white uniforms with blue trim, despite the fact they are the visiting team. Santa Cruz in their scarlet red. They will kick off here. Back deep to receive for the Mariners. It's number 24, their stud, Dan Stephens. Getting ready to kick off for Santa Cruz High. It's number 4, David Esparza, and here we go. Low squib kick. Looks like it'll go out of bounds. It does, so that'll be a penalty. Aptos will take over with good field position. Early mistake here on the special teams, Kurt.
Well, that's one of the things. In special teams in high school, Joel, as you well know, could really make or break a football team. And the one thing you don't want to do is have great, or give the other team good field position. Aptos is electing to say, we could have had the ball at the 35-yard line, but they're saying, no. Santa Cruz, back it up 5 more yards. We're betting $1 to a donut that you're going to make a shorter kick this time, or you're going to get it in the hands of our receivers back there. And of course, Stephens, very, very dangerous, number 24 in white. If he gets his hands on the football, he can go a long ways in a big, big hurry.
Back deep there with Stephens is number 3 for the Mariners. That's Jesse Sambles. In fact, he and Stephens have combined for almost 800 yards rushing this season, 11 touchdowns. So as you said, Kurt, a dangerous duo back there for Aptos. Ball put down now at the 35-yard line. We'll try it again. Again, it's Esparza to kick for Santa Cruz. This one squibs in the same area, but this time it will be picked up by an up man. And that's a nice move by number 25 for Aptos, Brian Stahl. He's still on his feet, close to midfield, cuts back. A fine run that time to open the game for Brian Stahl. So Aptos made the right decision there, Kurt.
They did indeed. Exactly what they wanted to do. They picked up 14 yards by having Santa Cruz kick off again. And Brian Stahl, just a great job of maintaining his composure. and you watched everybody from Santa Cruz get over there, and as soon as Stahl was able to break out to his left, it was, you know, a lot of real estate for the young man.
Ball put down at the Aptos 49-yard line. It's number 8, Dustin Weber, behind center. In motion is Jesse Samples, and we've got a flag before they can get anything going.
A little bit of anxiousness. Motion up front, number 42, Zach Hewitt, tight end on the right side. Jumped, and that's not, yeah, it's just kind of like those jitters. First time out, you're going to pop off. You know it's either coming your side or you want to deliver a message to the guy in the wrong color helmet in front of you. Jump off and get him. Hewitt forgot it was on 2, not 1.
Weber now looks at a 1st and 15. And again in motion, it's Samples. Give is to Samples right side. Sweep, no room over there. The Cardinal defense swarms to bring him down. Amongst those in on the tackle, number 16, Michael Derland. And he had plenty of help. Little to no gain for Aptos. It'll be 2nd and long.
Great job by the Cardinals. You want to have that type of pursuit because you notice there's a lot of motion. You can come inside. That time Aptos chose to take it outside, see if they can't stretch the corner a little bit on the Cardinals. Good job by the defense that time.
Again, it's Weber under center for Aptos. Kyle Vander Zanden will see plenty of time there as well. Again, we've got a penalty. Don't know which side of the line moved first that time. It looks like it's Aptos. So self-destruction here early from the Mariners.
See, that's one thing you can't do in football is give those penalties, especially offensive penalties, when you've got a drive going. Illegal procedure, those are the things that will take a coach's hair gray, or in my case, just you get more, less. I don't have any after coaching high school for football for years.
Ball now at the 40-yard line of Aptos. It's a 2nd and 19. Give this time as a sweep left side. That's number 24, Dan Stevens. Cuts back, fights his way across the 45 to the 47. So a good gain there for Stevens. It'll be 3rd and 12 for the Mariners.
Martisius, number 7, finally stepped up and made a tackle from his defensive back position. That was a nice job. Good run by Stevens. You start to go to the outside, you read your block, you take what the defense is going to give you. They weren't giving him the outside, he cut it up inside.
3rd and long here for Weber and the Mariners. Split backs behind him, 2 receivers right side, and another penalty. Number 2 that time, the split end, Bobby Torres, tried to get a quick jump on the defense, and as a result now, Kurt, it'll be 3rd and 18.
We better be happy that Santa Cruz is a gun-free zone. Otherwise, Coach Garrison, of course, in Aptos, we don't know about that. It's unincorporated. Garrison's probably got a shotgun somewhere in the neighborhood of that front line saying, know the count.
And how much is this? Well, we'll talk about it the next break, but how much is this maybe a product of knowing that Santa Cruz knows this offense so well because they run the same thing? Weber back to pass. He looks out right side. He overthrows his man, Dan Stevens, who was open. Incomplete. 4th down. Aptos will punt, so they do not convert a drive that started near midfield.
That's terrible. Actually, they backed up, thank you to the penalties, once they started at the 49, we'll call it the 50-yard line. So they basically lost 8 yards on that play, all thanks to the penalties. And I mean, that's just not a way you want to start a football game.
Back deep to receive this punt for the Cardinals. It's number 30, Steve Pinther. And doing the punting for Aptos is number 14, Chris Marino. Snap is good. Marino gets off a nice kick. Running up to catch it is Pinther, and he's brought down immediately. Nice special teams play that time by Aptos. That was Dustin Weber and Joe Pinpin. No gain for Pinther.
Good coverage, good hang time. That's what you want. Marino got the ball up, got it to be hanging up there, and allowed his mates to get down the field. And of course, high school, and actually anyways, you've got this little area that you have to let the receiver at least touch the ball. Give him about 3, maybe 5 feet. Once he catches it, then destroy him.
In for the Cardinals at quarterback, it's number 11, Jim Anderson. He is the most accurate passer in the league. He's completed 78% thus far, and he's got some targets as well. I formation behind him. 1st and 10, ball at the 31. Anderson gives to the deep back that time. For Santa Cruz, that's number 30, Pinther. Fights his way across for a couple yards. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Number 70, Steve Norton. 6'2", 300. Is that a misprint? Either that or I lost my ink ran. 352. I'm going to go 252. Either that or he's a big, good-sized refrigerator and a freezer. Anyways, he plugs the middle of that line. He was the one that stepped up and made that tackle. I'll tell you one thing, he hasn't missed dinner.
2nd and 8 now for the Cardinals. Anderson with a 4-receiver set. Lone back is Luke Wetmore. Fake to Wetmore. Anderson rolls out. It's an option. Pitch left side. They've got plenty of room out there. That's number 9, Chad Allen. First down yardage for Santa Cruz across the 40. Nice play that time for the Cardinals offense.
That's just a sweet way to run it. You go down the line, you run the option. If the defense doesn't take the pitch man, you just pitch the ball out there. You've got guards and tackles pulling, getting around the corner. If they do take the pitch man, quarterback just tucks it underneath his wing and turns it up the field. But defensively, you have to cover everybody.
First down, ball at the 43 of Santa Cruz. Again, it's a 4-receiver set for Anderson. Rolls right side, looking to throw. He's got time, dumps it out here, and it's dropped. Chris Kamahaho, say that 10 times fast.
I can't say it once.
Had room in front of him, but unfortunately couldn't come up with it. May have been looking before he caught it.
Sometimes that's really typical to do on receivers. That's also a tough pass. Anderson on that moving pocket out to the right realized he was going to have to get rid of that ball in a big hurry. Again, 42, Zach Hewitt was really coming in on him hard. So it's a touch pass, but Anderson might have put a little bit too much mustard on the ball and zipped it in there quicker than the receiver was waiting for the ball.
Kurt, we've talked about how both teams run similar styles on both sides of the ball. How do you think that'll play out as far as who's going to have the advantage?
Well, that's a great question. The advantage is going to come down to those horses on the offensive line, on whether or not they can carry out their blocking assignments and get to their respective areas. In this type of an option offense, you want to be able to get to the other team's linebackers. So the team that's able to do that should come out the victor.
Empty backfield behind Anderson on 2nd and 10. Actually, it's a new quarterback in there. That's Paul Krogan. They set up the screen to Jared Hunter. He's got room across midfield down to the 45. First down. Cardinals into Aptos territory.
Brilliantly designed play. Nice job by Krogan. Paul doing a fine job just dropping back. And you saw this sea of white come right to him. And as a lineman, as a defensive lineman, you've got to realize, hey, if they're letting me in this easy, there's got to be something happening behind me. Aptos didn't recognize it. Nice pass over to Hunter, and you can see the result. Great job. Good call.
Nice blocking up front that time by the Cardinals offensive lineman who got out there in front of Hunter, who got it to the 43, 1st and 10. 4 receivers now as Anderson's back under center. Lone back is Wetmore. Again, it's Anderson on the option. This time he keeps it. He's hit hard as he gets the ball across the 40 to the 38. About a 6-yard gain that time. It'll be 2nd and short.
Great job by Anderson. Read his keys very well. Good blocking. Tied up the defensive end on that side. That allowed Anderson to read to see what was going to happen. Corner stepped up, said, I got the pitch man if you pitch it. Anderson says, I recognize it. Ducked inside, picked up 5 to 6 yards.
2nd and short. Ball at the 39 of Aptos. Santa Cruz looking to score on their first possession of the game. 7.5 to go, first quarter. Split back set now behind Anderson. In motion, that's Chad Allen. Give this time on the misdirection, that's number 12, Luke Wetmore, who gets perhaps a yard. Good defense that time on the Aptos side of the ball.
Justin Beazer doing a nice job of staying home. Runs at a linebacker position. That little counter, that little misdirection as you call, you're going to have a little trap block. It's up to the linebackers and the defensive backs to recognize it, step up, and make the hit.
3rd and 4 now for Santa Cruz. Wetmore got about a half a yard only that time, so Anderson's got his work cut out for him. 3 receivers to his left, and now Hunter splits out wide right. Lone back is Wetmore. Quick slant inside, it's dropped and tipped into the hands of Aptos. That's number 25, Brian Stahl. So a huge turnover there. Ball in and out of the hands of Jared Hunter. And the Mariners take over in good field position, so an early momentum swing here.
Turnovers will kill you. Hard slant pass. If you don't lead your receiver right on the money, you have that possibility of the ball being picked up. And that was exactly what happened. Off the hands of Hunter, right into the hands of the defensive safety. And now this is a huge break for the Mariners.
Kurt, talking to both coaches this week as we did, they said turnovers would be the key. So we'll see if Aptos can convert here. Quarterbacking now it is Kyle Vanderzanden. Give is up the middle. And Santa Cruz read it like a book that time. Number 24 for Aptos, Dan Stevens, got perhaps a yard that time. It'll be 2nd and long.
It'll be interesting watching the Mariners offensively now in practice. They run their 2 quarters, Vanderzanden and Weber, so they're in and out. So the center knows the cadence because each quarterback brings just a little bit different emphasis when they call for they snap.
Blown back behind Vanderzanden now is Zach Moody. 3 receivers for Vanderzanden to choose from here on 2nd and 7. Ball at the 38. In motion, that's Tim Sunzeri. Roll out by Vanderzanden. He's looking deep. He's got a man out there. Overthrows number 86, Mike Keenan that time, and he was open.
Keenan running just a straight 90 pattern, which basically breaks down to a fly, up and release down the field. Nice little fake. And I like Vanderzanden. His nice little roll out. Nice job of setting up. A little bit more air underneath the football, and the Mariners have 6. That was a good call by Coach Garrison, realizing that the Cardinals, their defensive backs have started to creep up. Now it's time to put the ball over the top.
3rd and 7 now. Ball at the 38. We've got a delay here as the officials are talking to Santa Cruz coach Basil Faltis.
And that's Steve Orozco in there doing something very animated. And if there's one thing I know about Orozco, he's animated.
And we're going to take a look at that last play here, Kurt. The man was definitely open. Vanderzanden had time.
Notice he's got a lot of time, sets up, puts the ball deep. And sometimes young old quarterbacks, they see the receiver wide open on a deep route, and they can overthrow. Vanderzanden does have a strong throwing arm, but that was a nice job. Again, the moving pocket gets him out and able to throw the ball.
The officials have straightened it out with Coach Faltis. It's 3rd and 7 now. Give this time on the misdirection, and Santa Cruz read it. That was number 12, Luke Wetmore, with a great play that time, stopping Aptos for a loss, and that'll force the punt.
Great job by Wetmore, linebacker. And the linebackers basically read. They're sitting back, obviously, behind the line of scrimmage. First step is up into the line, read to see what's going on. Wetmore read it very good, stepped up and made the tackle.
2nd punt of the night for Aptos and Chris Marino. He kicks it away from Pinther, but he gets over there at the 30. He's got room up the middle. Across the 40 to the 44. Nice return that time for Pinther, much better than the first result. So Santa Cruz will have their 2nd possession. 5:08 to go 1st quarter. We're in a scoreless game here at Santa Cruz High. The band starts to fire up below us.
Yeah, you know what? There's something about a high school band at a football game. It just adds a lot to it. When they play in key, it's even better. And these guys here in Santa Cruz can do that. Good music program.
Jim Anderson again under center for the Cardinals. Split backs behind him. And the give is to the man in motion. That was number 25, Chris Kamahaho. And he was thrown down there for little to no gain.
None at all. Marchesio, the center, I watched him on that play. He wears number 50 in the red uniform. Snaps the ball, tries to at least get in the way of Steve Norton, the big 6'2" nose tackle for the Mariners, to try and cut down his angle of pursuit to the best of his ability. But again, good job by the Aptos Mariner linebackers to step up and make that tackle.
They're going to give Kamahaho a yard on that play, so it'll be 2nd and 9, ball at the Santa Cruz 45. Splitting out wide, that's Michael Derlin for Santa Cruz. Split backs behind Anderson. In motion, it's Allen. Give on the misdirection, that's...
I like the way that Wetmore runs that play. I like the little counter that they send through, just basically a Y or a scissors play. Send one off one side and then have Wetmore come off the other side. If you can do that enough and get out there and do a nice trap block, which that time the Cardinal offensive line did, it's good for a good good gain.
And Kurt, you talked at the top about how this offense involves a lot of misdirection and confuses people. They got me that time as I didn't know Wetmore had it. My apologies to Luke. He got 6. It's 3rd and 2 at the Aptos 48. 2 backs behind Anderson. A nice run across the 45 for a first down. Steve Pinther that time on the carry. So a fresh set of downs for Santa Cruz High in Aptos territory at the 44.
Pinther really showed me something. Just a straight lead right off the right side between the guard and the tackle slot. I actually thought that he was going to get popped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain, but he kept his shoulders up, head up, and great leg drive. Got that first down because there was a heck of a collision right at the line of scrimmage.
Pinther and Wetmore, the split backs behind Anderson. 1st and 10. 2 receivers right side, and Hunter splits left. Motion man now is Allen. Fake is to Allen. Give is up the middle to Wetmore, who falls forward for about 4 yards inside the 40 of Aptos, so it'll be 2nd and about 5.
Again, that time you saw multiple shifts by the Cardinals. Hunter going out to the left, motion going out to the left. That takes the strength of the defense to their defensive right side to compensate for all the motion action. That allows the Cardinals to run a quick little counter back to the weak side and pick up some yardage.
Pinther out, Kamahaho in. Multiple substitutions as both teams trying to utilize their depth here, and they have it, so why not? 2nd and 4 now, I formation. Anderson gives to the deep back. That's number 12, Wetmore. And it looks like we've got a holding penalty. That's generally what that flag means coming from that direction. And in fact, we do. So 2nd short will become 2nd and long.
Yeah, Steve Orozco, the man in the white hat, the good guy. Of course, I've never known an official, umpire, or anything to be the good guy. I mean, a white hat just doesn't fit. But Orozco's got one on there. He's got to be the head man, and he made the holding call. He threw that flag right in the middle of it. And you're right. Almost every time the flag comes flying into the center, you could bet somebody got their hands caught in the cookie jar.
First penalty of the night on the Cardinals, and it'll back them up to midfield. So it now is 2nd and 15 as we wind towards 2 minutes to go, first quarter. Scoreless game here. It's game 2 in the league season for both these clubs, who are both 1-0. 4 receiver set now for Anderson to work with. Lone back is Willie Palmer. Give is to Palmer up the middle. It's a fumble. Anderson falls on it. And we've got a illegal motion penalty. So correct me if I'm wrong, Kurt. That means that play wouldn't have mattered, right?
It wouldn't have mattered at all.
Covered.
Yep. Illegal shift by the Cardinals. We saw guys in motion. When you have 2 men in motion, which was exactly what was going on at that point in time, you're going to get a flag. And this is another decision that the Mariners could make. You know, continue to push him back. That's not a bad move. Now, the one thing that I'm really impressed with, Santa Cruz gives you a lot of different fronts and a lot of different looks. And they're going to decline it. So that
we thought they might accept it, but they actually did decline it, as you said.
That play goes. So it's 3rd down.
3rd and 20 now. Santa Cruz is backed up to their own 48. We'll see if they have a play in the book for this situation. 4 receivers for Anderson. And again, the lone back is Wetmore. Anderson rolls left. He's got some time. He goes deep. He's got a man out there, number 7, Ruben Miller. Santa Cruz crowd looking for a flag as Miller went down. And again, Kurt, we saw a receiver get behind the defense that time, and the quarterback just had a little too much on it.
One of the things on the cover, too, you've got the deep safeties back there. They've got deep responsibility on whatever half of the field they are. Samples was over there that time. That was the pass was supposed to be more to the inside, and you can see the receiver had to rotate back around to the outside. The collision was unavoidable. Both guys going for the ball. Good non-call by the official, in spite of what the crowd thought below me.
Luke Wetmore back to punt for Santa Cruz. Number 3 for Aptos back to receive it. That's Jesse Samples. High kick. Samples has no shot at this one as it bounces forward. A Mariner bounce there as it hit at about the 30 and went forward to the 38. So with 1:24 to go first quarter, Aptos will take over again with good field position.
Crying out loud, they've started the game. Every time they've got their hands on the pigskin, they've had great field position. Remember, folks, they started off the game. First kick was out of bounds. They wanted to go to the second one, brought it to the 49-yard line. And then the Hankies started littering the field after that. So they really haven't had a chance to get an offensive drive going yet. And maybe with Weber back in there, they will. Who knows?
Series-to-series substitution under center. Again, as you said, it's Weber now for Aptos. Give is up the middle and a fumble. Ball on the ground. Cardinals have it. Didn't see who. Dan Stevens put it on the ground for Aptos.
Well, I don't know who came up with it, Joel, but I'll tell you one thing. Number 77, Jason Garcia, defensive lineman, 6'3", 235 pounds, got his hands on Stevens' jersey and was not going to let him down and basically just slung him right to the ground, and the ball popped free. And unfortunately, I don't know who came up with the pigskin for the Cardinals, but what a huge turnover.
Deep in Aptos territory. They're going to mark it at the 34. We've got an injured player for Santa Cruz High. See if we can get the number for you here. It looks like they're checking a knee. That's number...
Never like to see that one, but if he's just saying, it just hurts a little bit. Number 11 is the one down. That's Jim Anderson. That's their quarterback. Now, we know that Paul Krogan came in and was a quarterback for a little bit. And actually, Luke Whitmore was their quarterback last year, so they can, they can do quarterback by committee too if they have to.
Certainly can. As we said, both teams have depth, and Santa Cruz will have to employ it here, as it doesn't look good for Anderson as he limps off. He also doubles as the Cardinal cornerback.
Watch this replay. You can see there's Garcia just slinging the running back to the ground, and the ball pops free. There goes Anderson. He's diving for it. You got a whole bunch of jerseys, and Anderson just got his leg rolled up on, and that hurts, folks.
Looks like he got hit from the side. Unfortunate there. Meanwhile, Santa Cruz with the ball. Again, it is Krogan in the game. He throws one up high. It's a jump ball, almost brought down by Jared Hunter. And
now, you know what? That one I agree with the crowd.
Certainly the defender that time made contact before the ball got there, and Coach Basil Faltis is letting the sideline judge know about it.
Oh, he is getting an earful. That ball was up there a long time. Hunter was the intended receiver. The ball was underthrown. Hunter broke off his pattern. Nice read on the fact that the ball was underthrown. Steps back, but then he basically gets tackled out there by the DB, who is... He wasn't beat on the play initially, but the way the pass ended up, he was in the wrong spot to do anything except mug the receiver.
And Kurt Hunter at 6'5", I could argue that perhaps it was underthrown intentionally so he could jump up and get it. They're going to try it again. Again, it's Krogan, and again, it's Hunter. He pushes off and makes the catch. No call. Touchdown, Santa Cruz.
Well, there's payback for you from one non-call to another non-call. That was a good job on Hunter, who was back there on Keenan, number 86, and it was just the old, I got this rebound, get out of my zone, forearm shove.
Well, Hunter figures if they can get away with it, so can I. The first score of the game comes with 1:02 to go. And the crowd loves it on this side. Point after attempt is up and good by number 8, Nick Borohoff, and just like that, Santa Cruz jumps on top 7-0. And you've got to credit Paul Krogan as well, Kurt. Comes in cold off the bench, throws 2 catchable balls that time, and he gets the home run to Hunter. Just like that, 7-0 Santa Cruz.
It's great, and those aren't that easy, especially, it's coming in cold, and you're asked to throw the deep route. There was a little bit of a wobble on that one, but who cares? That was a great adjustment again by Hunter, and it never hurts. And that's one of those, if you got the official down there, if both guys give it the rip to push off, who you going to call? Yeah, I mean, you might as well just keep that thing. It's a no call. Got one call saying, hey, he pushed off. We saw him push off, which he did. But I got news for you. I saw Keenan's also had his hand out there getting ready to shove Hunter. So, hey, nice job of keeping that hanky right in your pocket. And that's sometimes tough to do.
No surprise to see Hunter
make that kind of play. He is, as his coach Basil Fault has told me, their playmaker. He had a groin injury. He's now 100%. They brought him back slowly. He got a few plays in against Harbor, but Coach Fault has told me he is a Pac-10, legitimate Pac-10 prospect, so you may see Hunter at the next level. Kicking off for Santa Cruz, again, it's Esparza. And again, it's a squiver to the left side, picked up by the up back for Aptos. That's Brian Stahl once again. Stahl spinning his way forward, finally is brought down by a mass of red. Looks like they'll mark him past the 30-yard line.